girlfriends
That's kind of
for
fire.
a couple days.
Double date swag?
You ever heard of glamping?
I think so, but like, what is it though?
Are we recording yet? We are recording? Okay, we're live. Glamping.
What is that?
It's like camping. Would you say swipe up?
Oh, glamorous camping.
Yeah, basically it's like you camp, but it's almost like you're in like a total like wildernessy ass area, but then like you have like a tent, like your tent is like kind of big and has like a real bed and everything, so it's a little bit more glamorous. Basically, hey, swipe up. Oh, you're not even filming me. You ready? Hey, swipe up. You want to join the No Jumper show? I got house phone with me. Cam girl's supposed to be here soon. I got some coffee. Let's go. Yeah, so it's gonna be like a totally different thing than any vacation or trip I've ever been on. It'll probably just be a bunch of camping.
Have you ever even been camping before?
I'm gonna be honest with you, it's been a long time.
Yeah, I'm not.
You're not a camper?
I'm not a camping ass nigga. Somebody asked me recently, did I want to go camping? I'm like, I'll camp out at the fucking Four Seasons.
At the Supreme store?
I haven't done that since like, God knows when.
I
used to be that nigga out there though, for sure.
I respect it because, well, I always thought that shit was corny as fuck until then. One time I went by the Supreme line and like somebody told me like, yo, all them fools are like with it. Like you kind of got to be like doing something to be out there on the street all night. Nobody's gonna fuck with you. He's basically like, mad blickies over there. They're smoking dope. They motherfuckers got pills out the like.
You're not gonna let a
I'm
nigga...
trying not to expose them, but basically they're real. They're not a bunch of dorks out there on Fairfax. Although the whole game has changed, right? Because
I mean, it's completely different from when I used to go out there and fucking. I mean, there is no Fairfax right now.
Right, but I'm assuming that it'll go back to some sort of normalcy. But is it like a raffle or some shit? Or like, is there?
No. So I think they like dispersed the lineup because at first it used to be you could come line up maybe like the night before, and in the morning you can you could literally line up in front of the store. But it got to a point where it was so many people and so much shit that like they broke it up and they started like lining people up like back over across the street like where fucking Fairfax High School is, and kind of like broke it up. And I don't know, it's like way different. And
the whole game has changed. Yeah, I mean, there was only so long that they were going to let motherfuckers run that block like that and just completely turn it into a fucking carnival.
A lot of the times, too, like you'll get like a number spot in line or some shit, and then you'll leave after that.
She wants her seat. She ain't going to sit next to me. She wants her good side showing.
Thank you.
Her tattooed side. Wait, that's not a tattoo. That's makeup, right?
Yeah.
The heart?
Yes.
But you do it a lot.
Sometimes I switch it up.
You got me sitting next to the enemy during this
during
this political time.
I know. Why don't you just put this over here?
So you identify as a roof Korean?
What does that mean?
You haven't heard that term yet?
What? Like, let me guess. Can I have a quarter inch? The people that go on the roofs to protect their businesses.
I had never heard this term before, but until this week, roof Koreans. Like, I guess it's just the motherfuckers who like protect their business, like do or die.
It's one of my ears.
Wait, so what are you trying to adjust here?
Oh, I want to plug in mine to. I need a quarter inch.
She needs the adapter. If you want to, Yuri, you got the adapter? Anybody know where the adapter at? While we're getting the adapter, I just want to take a quick moment to say that, man, I've been wearing a lot of my Fashion Nova drip. Wow, available at fashionnova.com. I love it. A lot of good clothes over there. A lot of good sweatsuits, t-shirts, jeans.
Yuri, she needs the quarter thing for the headphones.
I'm a Fashion Nova boy, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Shout out to everybody over there. Shout out to Blueface. You see that they just made a huge donation too?
Yeah, I saw that.
It's on the No Jumper Instagram, basically.
That makes sense.
Just something I wanted to get out of the way.
Did you get paid for that?
No. It's out of the goodness of my heart. Look at that dog. Hashtag Fashion Nova partner. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know why the term roof Korean is like a new thing. Also, I don't think that's going to plug into that. No.
Yes, it is.
That's exactly how that works.
It's not tight at all. There's like a piece that's supposed to go in that piece.
Can you give me a new one? One that works.
There we go.
Can I just say,
oh boy.
as long as we're seemingly like sort of avoiding jumping into the heavy shit.
Yep.
Weird weekend for your girlfriend to have a birthday.
Yeah, or I know people that had babies too.
Yeah, because it's like a weird time in history where nobody wants to hear about your personal shit.
No one gives a fuck.
Nobody wants to hear anything that is not like about the good of society. So like when it's your birthday and you kind of like want to post shit that is sort of like, hey, look at me, everything's great. They ain't really trying to hear that right now.
Yeah,
Not at
different
all.
time in American history. How was you guys' weekend? I saw you were at the protest.
I went to the protest, a peaceful one on Thursday before, you know, they were rioting. I went to a peaceful one in downtown. And yeah, it felt good to be there. I wanted to help out in any way that I can. I didn't get to go out this weekend to any of the big protests because I had no one to go with, and like I don't think it's safe to go alone. But you know, I tried to do my part on social media and the internet. Yeah.
Definitely.
What about you guys? Did you guys go to any of the protests?
I was being a boyfriend all weekend, so.
I was at home. I didn't get a chance to go out yet, but I definitely did my part on social media. I think that I've been, you know, collecting information on which organizations to donate to, which ones are actually giving money and shit like that. Because that was a big thing that I was seeing was checking the authenticity of some of the links and shit like that.
It is really hard to know what's real.
It's so easy to
what is. Yeah, right.
It's so
right
easy
now,
to fake something like that.
So which ones do you think that people should donate to if people don't know and they're listening?
I mean, first of all, I think that directly donating to like his family is gonna be probably number one choice. I would say
most trustworthy option, most
Yeah.
likely. I would agree.
And then if you donate directly to the Black Lives Matter movement through through one of the links on their page, I feel like that's a good one. Also, the companies that are, not the companies, organizations that are setting up
The bailout
bail
funds?
situations, yeah. I think those are like the top three.
Let me throw this out there.
Okay.
Me and Jason were having a meeting the other day. We were talking about merch stuff, and he was just basically like, dude, like it feels like a weird time to do merch because it feels like almost everything would come off as a little tone deaf right now, don't you think? And I was like, yeah, I totally agree. And one of the conclusions that we ended up coming to was kind of like, number one, that we want to like partner with like good organizations doing shit in LA. You know, I feel like nowadays, if you're going to do t-shirts or whatever, it kind of, and who knows, like when the appetite for like stupid shit will change, but it feels like right now people want everything to be something that like sort of resonates and has a message and stuff. So we were kind of going back and forth on a lot of different ways to do that. And we came to a few interesting ideas. One of them was like, what if we sort of like go out of our way to like sponsor kids for college? Like we do.
I would love. You should definitely do that.
You know, because there's like a lot of people who watch this that are at that age where if they had X amount of thousands of dollars to be able to go to college, it would make a huge difference in their life. And that's the kind of thing where, you know, we could like help them out on more of like an individual level too. So that's one thing we threw out there. The other one was like, what if we did like merch drops and then take a percentage of the money plus put our own money, whatever, and we actually sponsor like kids from underprivileged neighborhoods to basically, if they want to be YouTubers or they want to be content creators or whatever, we basically like would hook them up with like high quality, like some video camera stuff. Realistically, if you gave somebody like a computer and a dope camera or whatever, it's like
They
All
can
you
figure
need.
it out, basically.
I mean, you can probably get the cost down too. Like, you know, you could probably spend like $2,000, $3,000, $2,500, something like that to get somebody actually like able to make dope YouTube stuff. That would be pretty cool. And I don't know, we're just sort of like going back and forth, throwing these ideas around. And then you could also like help them to promote their channel. You could sort of like, you know, it's like even just the complexities that you've had to deal with of like getting on Twitch. Huge pain in the ass.
Yes.
Totally understandable that some random kid's not gonna be able to figure it out on his own. But if we
It's-
like were
yeah.
to send Yuri, or like, you know, we go through and help them do it. I don't know. Just
Or you
trying
guys
to think
should
of,
set up like maybe courses where, you know, even it's simple as video editing or like getting on Twitch and like, I don't know, I think some kind of like course thing could help not only just individual people, but like anyone watching, you know,
Yeah.
it's not just
I mean,
people
that's a good
people
point
that
too.
were
Make
picked,
it
you know?
make it a Zoom, if you did Zoom calls with the people that you were like sponsoring, but then everybody else could watch or something, or you took that and put it on a separate YouTube channel, something like
Yeah.
that. That's a good point.
I mean,
Definitely.
I feel like at the end of the day, doing shit to help people out is never wrong. Like that's amazing. But if you're trying to do something that directly is reflecting what's going on right now, then I feel like maybe focus on more of the focus on like the issue of what's going on. I guess more than like. I don't know. I mean, like, you know,
We
like,
did do I donated to the
I saw
Minnesota
that.
Freedom Fund, which
saw that.
and then I started to think about it, I'm like, Well, they can't just be bailing out everybody, right? Because there's definitely like, people getting arrested that you would think that hopefully they would be able to tell who they would want to bail out. And then afterwards, I did sort of think like, shit, maybe I should have done it straight to his family.
Well, that was one thing.
I was conflicted too because me and my Twitch followers raised money for his family's GoFundMe. But then I thought about it, I'm like, fuck, should I give half to bail out protesters? Because so many people were getting arrested. I donated on Friday, and then Saturday is when everything started going down, and people were just, protesting left and right and getting arrested. And I don't know.
Think about this. This is what I was thinking about. The people who are out protesting and stuff with priors or with fucking with warrants out and shit like that, who, if they got arrested for this, they're not getting out anytime soon. And they're going to be sitting. That was something I had to think about because I'm like, shit, I still got some open cases and shit. And I'm like, damn, like if I go out there and get arrested, I might not be coming back in a day or two,
The thing I want to know is just like, how do organizations that are bailing people out, how do they differentiate between like, we've seen peaceful protesters get arrested, and we've also seen people who are like blatantly doing like horrible things, like lighting a building on fire, and then they get arrested, and it's like, presumably they would be able to differentiate between the two.
I think it's more. I think it's.
That's going to be a hard call to make in the moment, too.
Because I know Minnesota Freedom Fund, which everyone was donating to, apparently they got so much money that they were saying like, don't donate to us, like donate to different organizations, maybe in different states or cities.
Because they probably like. They just so happened, like the reason why I did that one was because I saw like Kalani and like a couple other people doing like a train of doing it, and so I was just like, I assume Kalani can't be possibly falling for anything stupid, so I just did that one. But I mean, from their perspective, they probably were like one of many charities, and then all of a sudden just got this insane spike because they just so happened to go viral. Well,
and it was in the city where George Floyd, the murder happened.
Yeah.
And where the protests first were lit. It spread. It was like 150 fucking cities in America, but it was like 48 was where they had actual like riots, allegedly. I saw 150 nationwide, and then also a ton of other ones. Like since I saw the 150 number, a ton more, and then globally as well. I saw New Zealand going crazy.
Syria. Oh, well, no, they didn't protest. I saw like murals go up.
It's weird to imagine them giving a fuck about anything going on here.
Berlin.
I saw some shit in Amsterdam.
It's got to resonate a lot because there's a lot of black people in New Zealand, and like when I was out in Australia and stuff, you have conversations with people. I think it's more about the Aborigines in Australia, but I mean, it's a very like relatable struggle. There's a lot like them seeing like all these different countries seeing people in America rising up and making a difference or whatever is like this. I mean, there's some form of racism even if there's no black people around. There's some kind of like wealth inequality or whatever, like society structured based on race.
And even if there's no black people necessarily like in your direct neighborhood or like not that many black people, you could still relate and still see the inequalities and shit that's going on that's wrong that needs to be addressed,
Especially because people globally feed off of and love black culture and black movies and music, and it's like you can't just like that stuff and then turn a blind eye towards fucking black and brown people getting killed. Yeah.
The disparity there, like how two things could be true at once, how we're still dealing with so much of this police brutality and stuff. And then also
it's not stopping. It's crazy.
I've seen stuff that
even in the midst of this,
I've seen stuff from this that is at least as bad as the George Floyd thing, like stuff that you never would have thought you would be able to see in this kind of scenario. Like I've seen some crazy shit, police ramming protesters who are just standing there with their cars,
or like the drive-by one.
Yeah, that was nuts.
That was
crazy. And I think Frosty keeps catching police brutality on his Instagram Live.
Really?
Yeah, he's got like 2 already.
Wow.
It's crazy. Then the rest in peace to the cook in New Orleans.
Yeah, in Louisiana.
He was just cooking for the protesters, and apparently he
was like, I don't know. They're trying to say he was fucking didn't have a permit to be cooking there or some shit. Like just stupid ass shit, bro.
I mean, I seen a fucking dude.
So mad.
I seen a dude who confronted some looters and he just fucking got shot dead on the spot. And there's a guy
by the cops?
No, by the fucking dudes.
By the looters, yeah.
And there's a guy filming this guy bleeding out on the ground, and he's just like, "Come on, stay with me, man. Stay with me, man." And it's just like, holy shit. And it's like, The scary thing all this weekend, it feels like it's kind of slowing down a little bit now in terms of like you finding out about something absolutely insane every night.
I don't know. This has been
Last night was still lit.
every day I've been fucking waking up to just seeing some even crazier shit every day. The James Scurlock, who got killed in fucking Omaha, he was like this 22-year-old kid who got killed by like some fucking white supremacists like in Omaha, like
Really?
during the protests and shit. Shit is just fucking sad, man. It's going crazy right now.
Yeah, it's madness. Me and House Fun already had a very heated exchange in the DMs about our thoughts on some of the stuff that's been going on. We're going to try to keep it a little bit more level-headed, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like this is how I see it, and this is the problem, is that you have people who want to protest. You have people who are basically like, people who want to protest this police brutality. You have people who just want to fuck the system up, period. They want to see everything burn. And then you have like opportunists.
Yeah.
And the things that the people in the second two categories do gets mapped onto the people who just want to protest or just want to make some kind of difference in like how race is perceived in this country, et cetera. So it's like very hard because it's so easy for people in the media, et cetera, to paint everybody involved in this as basically being, mega violent and just out of their minds and stuff. So it's kind of, I don't think that anyone who was really just out there like marching about this initial cause is like the same people who are necessarily like looting random stores on day 6. I feel like it's a different
I saw someone on
crowd.
Twitter posted, they're trying to say that, the latter two, the people who are opportunists or just trying to burn everything, how are they representative of all the people protesting, yet these fucking killer cops aren't representative of all cops? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's facts, but I feel like at the same time, it's like, yes, there are people there to take advantage of the fact that it's fucking anarchy right now, and it's just shit's going crazy, and they see a lick by let's go do this. But I don't necessarily think that it just boils down to even with some of the people that are just like going crazy. It's like you can't really tell them how to protest or how. That's like wrong when it's like it's so much other shit that is wrong that is happening that they're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna take advantage of whatever opportunity that I see, and that's something that I don't know, I could kind of relate to a little bit,
I just think that as non-black people, we can't tell black people how to feel or act.
I think that people are just too worried about other shit when it's like the main focus here is that none of that shit would be happening if it was not for the brutality that was happening by hand of police that they'd have to face no repercussions for, and there wouldn't be any protests. There wouldn't be people out in the street to even give the opportunists an opportunity to go and loot.
Because when I was watching a video earlier today of a Foot Locker, or no, Vans store, I think it was in New York, and it's just 50 kids running up in there and taking everything. And when I look at those kids, I'm like, dude, that is every kid that I was like riding BMX with or whatever when I lived in New York.
Dream,
That's just like, I didn't see anything particularly out of ordinary about all those kids. Those are just regular ass kids in New York who see an opportunity in this moment, and they are frustrated and they are pissed off about the system and the inequality that they were born into and everything. But I do think that there's a big percentage of people that at the end of the day, if you could get a free pair of shoes, you're going to get a free pair of shoes. I was with somebody who got on FaceTime with somebody else, and they were like, yo, check this out. They had like hundreds of pill bottles. Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is that? They're like, oh, we hit a pharmacy last night. I was like, oh my God. And these are not like I know them. They're not political types of guys.
Yeah.
They're just, if the opportunity's there, and like the reality is that motherfuckers are poor as fuck. And when you look at the Gucci store, it's like, how could you possibly feel any empathy for that when you have nothing and you have to fucking struggle so hard and break the law or do whatever to just get anything going for yourself?
To even get by.
And all the free promotion that the black community has done for them.
I watched somebody say something about like, some of the like resale stores and shit like that. And they were like, why do I have to like buy my culture back from you? And I was like, dude, that was a point I never even thought of. And it's like, at the end of the day, like businesses being affected by the shit is like, it sucks. And I can't even say that it shouldn't happen, because it's just like, dude, what happened to George Floyd shouldn't have happened. What happened to, you know, fucking women being raped and shit shouldn't happen. It's like there's a whole bunch of shit that shouldn't happen, and it's like, my nigga.
But you can understand the rage, but then it's also at a certain point, you have to
it
look at a
becomes
lot of these
selfish,
things that are happening, and you're like, yo, that is fucked up. And I mean, bro, I've seen things I can't even believe. Like, there's two Brooklyn lawyers who went out the night of the protest and threw fucking Molotov cocktails into cop cars and blew the cop cars up.
Shout out to them.
And now, I'm not shouting them out.
I'm shouting them
They
out. Shout out
are
to them.
going to fucking prison. These are lawyers who did this on camera.
No mask, no nothing.
I feel like I don't think so. I think a lot of people seem to think that this is actually like a free for all and that the cops are not going to give a fuck about what you're doing. And I was just having the conversation with AD. He's like, after the 92 riots, the cops didn't really, like, barely anyone got arrested in the moment. They fucking tracked them down and served them after the fact. And a lot of these fucking kids, I feel bad because there's a lot of 18-year-old kids, 21-year-old kids, whatever, who are not thinking about this. And that's going to be fucking blemish on their record forever. Not to mention, like, even if the cops don't get them right now, it's going to be like, oh, this guy's got something going for him 5 years from now, and a photo of fucking merges of them when they were 20 hitting a van store. And I mean, is that going to be like the equivalent of like your fucking boss finding out that you said the N-word on social media type shit, where it's like you're going to get fired because they have footage of you doing something many years ago?
And that's why at the end of the day, bro, you got to be meticulous. You got to be thought out. You have to be moving for the right cause. You got to fucking, you know, like, this shit's been weighing heavy on me, bro. It's like I've been, you know, receiving all this different information and not knowing how to feel. And like, I think that's why me and you were like going so back and forth, was because like, shit, it was like every 5 minutes I was gathering some new information, and it's just like, you know, altering how you feel about it. And at the end of the day, like I said, like, it's some fucked up shit happening. Like, you know, my condolences to, first of all, the family of George Floyd, his daughter, you know, his baby moms, just everybody. Like, I know they're fucking going through it. I seen them out protesting too. I think it was his brother, like, had his daughter on top of his head. And like,
wasn't that Steven Jackson from the NBA?
I don't know. It looked like his brother.
They're like really close friends or something.
Yeah, Trey the Truth knew him very well too, which is
he was like a legend in Houston.
Yeah,
he was part of
a guy around town, knew a shitload of people.
Too.
Yeah,
Screw a lot.
Screwed up click. He had verses on those mixtapes.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
There was like 5 million DJ Screw mixtapes, but he was on there.
Justice to all the other victims as well. Like, I know from what I've seen, nothing's happened to the killers of Brianna Taylor.
Really? Those cops haven't even been arrested?
I don't think so, and I don't think anything's happened to Sean Reed's killers too.
Oh shit! There's so much.
There's a lot of victims.
Much information that hasn't been properly documented or processed. And sometimes, you know, now because I'm reading Twitter so much, and then I'll go and I'll read a news article afterwards and realize like, oh, there's 3 things in this article that are completely different than the way that I saw them presented on Twitter. Exactly. And now, after having read the New York Times put it into like a more well-researched context, I'm like, oh fuck, like, I'm reading shit on Twitter thinking it's 100% true, and then finding out 8 hours later, oh, that's 1000% not how it happened. And it's a fucking roller coaster.
That's how I was feeling, just like combating people on fucking Instagram all day. It's like, they're like, oh, you fucking idiot, you don't even know what you're talking about. And I'm just like,
turn your comments off at that point, because they're taking away from like the greater cause.
And I think that was the whole point I was just trying to get across to him, is like, you know, like, my nigga, at the end of the day, it's a bigger cause than a store being looted. Or actually, one of my friends says he was out on Melrose, and there was a shop owner like with a gun, like in, like, I think either in the directly in the inside or directly outside of his store. And he asked the guy, like, do you have kids? And the guy was like, yeah. And he was like, now, is another person's kid's life worth whatever's in your store? And instead of him standing out there with a gun, he fucking just boarded up and went home.
But if you board up, they're still going to rob you. Isn't that like the main thing that we've seen, is that all these stores that are boarded up are still getting robbed?
I mean, I don't know if necessarily...
Standing out there with a gun is just saying, I'm going to kill you if you rob the store, which I can respect, even though, like, in the case of somebody like Burner said that he had 6 armed guards at the cookie store, and that when they started robbing it, he told them not to shoot them.
Yeah, because it's like, what? Because, like, you're going to fucking kill 50 people over some weed that can be grown and, like, be back?
It's a weird decision, because it's like, are you going to lose, I don't know, $20,000 worth of weed and broken glass, etc., and then have a body on your hands and know
multiple
that a motherfucker got murdered right here?
Bro, multiple.
Nobody's ever going to forget that happened there. as much as that person like breaking into the store, okay, if you break into my store, I'm allowed to shoot you legally, whatever. I mean, that's a tough decision, especially when the whole fucking, because you know, in that moment, like I said about seeing those random kids robbing the Van store, those are random fucking kids. Those are kids that I don't think would be doing this any other day out of the fucking year.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. I mean, and then also there's, let's just be honest, there's fucking a lot of professional lick hitters that would be doing this on the regular that were out there, you know? So it's like,
my friend had a friend who was looting in Santa Monica, and apparently like there was a group of people that were like very highly skilled, and like they had walkie-talkies. They had a whole like system that they were gonna like lick the stores.
Oh yeah, because I mean, motherfuckers are not stupid, and especially on day 7, like people are gonna figure shit out. You know, okay, here's somebody I feel horrible for. We're talking about Jason. He's up in Sacramento with his girl. They got a brand new baby and stuff. His girl's store just like completely fucked. You know, it's like, and she has like a local like vintage shop, clothing shop. I hope it's a clothing shop, and I'm not totally fucking this up, but
I think it's
it is, and it's like, you know, what's gonna happen? Like realistically, she might not ever open that shop again because that damage, like all these, that's why I feel so bad seeing all these shops get destroyed on Melrose, seeing this nail salon get burnt down, everything.
Yeah, no, for
because
sure.
it's like at the end of the day, dude, these businesses like are not gonna just come back. Like even 6 months ago when we were on Melrose, it is not easy to have a shop on Melrose. After the coronavirus, it is really hard to have a shop, period. And then after this shit, bro, that street might be a ghost town.
I saw Riff LA, which is like one of the most prominent shoe stores in Los Angeles. So they have 2 locations. Obviously, they have one in San Francisco and one here. And they were saying that they just basically don't even have the inventory or I don't think the funds to basically open up the San Francisco store again. They're going to put all the resources back into just opening the home store in LA. And they also mentioned something that I kept seeing. The argument was that you know, a lot of these businesses will be fine because of insurance payouts.
Yeah,
they put it.
Just asked about that. And
They put it into perspective, and they said that another situation where they got looted, like, you know, during a riot or whatever, that they lost $1 million in product, and the insurance probably gave them like $200K.
20%.
Yeah, that's why when I see people saying like, oh, the insurance will cover it, it's like, bro, you clearly have never really dealt with an insurance claim, because realistically, you're going to get a small percentage back. It's going to take forever. They might not pay you. Like you're in the fucking Katrina shit.
Oh yeah,
they didn't get paid because they didn't have. It was a hurricane. It wasn't flooding. So if you have flood insurance, that didn't cover it, etc. They'll do anything.
They'll do anything to not pay you. Yeah,
and if everybody's filing insurance claims, then all of a sudden it becomes the kind of thing where like, oh, their whole business falls apart, and you might never get anything.
That, and you know, I feel especially bad for the resellers like round 2, because, you know, even if they do get that money, it's not like their pieces are like one of a kind, vintage, like hunted exclusively. Exactly. So, you know, I don't know. But
I mean, again, like I'm gonna keep reiterating, and it's like, yeah, you can't get those clothes back. You also can't get a life back, which is why a lot of people are out on the streets.
It's just at the end of the day, it's hard to draw a line between like why it's good to destroy local businesses like in your community.
It's not
like
good at all.
I get destroying the Gucci store, because at the end of the day, like, well, I mean, I'm kind of partially like I wouldn't do it, but I don't think anybody really needs like $800 fucking trash sneakers from some fucking Italian designer that's owned by this mega fucking corporation, whatever. Yeah, exactly. Like, if any, I would love to see that come out of this. I would love for it to not be cool to fucking give $800 sneaker money to these fucking corporations. But
yeah,
I mean, at a certain point, it sucks to see kids or people so disconnected from their own community that they can't look at a store like Round 2 and realize that that's a guy who's really not that far off from where you were at. That Sorella store, seeing her fucking get her whole shit destroyed. It's like, even her, like, she's a young black woman who's got a fucking store on Melrose. I know it's not easy for her. I don't know anything about that business. I know it's not easy, especially after the last few months. Yeah. And it's like, it sucks, man. I just wish people would have the fucking like compassion for those people as well, you know.
And I just want to go and say this about like specifically with like the sneaker stores and shit like that. Okay, when you are breaking into something and you only have a very small like allotted amount of time, you have a very small window to go in, get shit, and leave, right? The way that those stores are set up, there's one shoe on the display wall, and the rest of the shoes are in the back. So a lot of the aftermath, I'm just seeing shoe boxes with one shoe on the ground and shit like that. And it's just like, bro, you just ran in and just ruined these niggas' business for what? For you to leave with one left shoe?
And I mean,
that makes no fucking sense to me at all.
I saw a video on this like one like hood LA Instagram page or whatever, and it's like a dude with very obvious face tattoos. He's wearing a mask, but his face tattoos are like super obvious. He's walking around in the back of, I don't want to say it was round 2, it might have been round 2, but it was like some sneaker shop. He's walking around in there stealing shit, whatever. You got those face tattoos on your face, like how fucking stupid are some of the people that we've raised like in our society that this dude is doing that? Like, it's bad. Like, you've done it. Okay. Like, I don't agree with you robbing the store, but you're putting it out there and making it so unbelievably easy for the cops to get you just because you want to look tight on live.
Oh, he did on
He's
live.
filming himself or on his story or whatever. He's
No
just up
way.
in there filming him and his boys robbing the store. I'm like, how could anyone be this dumb?
To go off your prior point, it makes me sad also because, you know, obviously the protests were going on for an important cause, and people were before people were protesting, they were making sure to not protest in places where people of color own businesses or live. So like you know, like South Central or like even Koreatown wasn't a spot. So they specifically did it in West Hollywood and Beverly Hills, and they kept
Which
saying
I
like,
respect.
do not loot the small businesses, you know, the corporations. They're not saying to do it, but if you're gonna do it to that. And it just got lost in a.
At the end of the day, I don't
in a
think you could
mayhem.
find a Black Lives Matter person or a person who's really actually like community organizing, trying to make a difference, etc., who would say like, yeah, I think it's tight that you guys went and did that.
Definitely
I think
not.
a lot of this fucking conflict, a lot of this drama is being fucking revved up by people that really just want to see everything burn. And if anything, this week as I think if you're like an anarchist or whatever, like, oh, here's really, really good evidence of why you don't want to actually live in anarchy. Like, very bad things happen and there's nobody to stop it.
Dog, I saw a video of a clearly white person with his face barely covered, breaking the glass of my homie's store on Melrose, and I was just like,
Yeah, that's
this
another.
is not a black dude doing this. This is not a nigga, a part
get
of
the
Black
phone
Lives
noises
Matter.
off, guys?
That's what I'm doing right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's another thing that's really bothering me about all of this is that I watched a lot of the live television news, and the only people that they're showing looting is like black and brown kids, and they're not showing any of the white kids causing damage at all.
I seen little white girls running up in stores and shit. Like, I seen like people doing shit like that. I just have never ever seen in my entire life, and I still can't really fucking wrap my head around it.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I do want to commend all of the people who were affected in the moment, but still took the time to say something positive and say something relaying back to the message. Bobby 100 said something really touching. Fucking Luke from round 2 said something really good. Riff LA said something really good. So shout out to all of them for, you know, taking the adversity that happened to somebody else and also taking the adversity happened to them.
I mean, part of the thing is that if you're a local business owner, is like, you sort of realize like that you were basically a casualty and that nobody wanted to destroy your business. It was just people got caught up in the hysteria and stuff. But I mean, I still just can't stop being bummed out about it because I just don't see how, like, you know, when I was watching people trash these designer stores or trashing CNN, which I still don't really understand why they were trashing CNN, because there's like no news network that's more on the progressive side than CNN. I'm not sure what point they were trying to
Fox.
make. Exactly. Like, how do you not target somebody who actually is your ideological enemy? I'm still kind of confused about that. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Killer Mike did a speech in Atlanta, and he brought up a great point. Like, you know, instead of, you know, trying to beat up these cops or whatever, because that's just going to lead you into the system, we need to beat them up politically. And like, if you're not happy with your, I mean, in LA, they're not happy with the district attorney, so people are out protesting in front of the courthouse. And you know, we gotta. The elections are coming up, and I think some of the states have what is it, pre-election or whatever,
mail-in voting shit.
the mail-in voting. So everyone go sign up for that. And
Because it's like, at the end of the day, like, the protests need to happen. We need to get our voices heard, but it's also about taking action after that.
exactly.
And doing something, because it's like, this shit is systematic. It's not one cop. It's not, you know,
the
like,
whole system is corrupted.
it's not fucking a couple bad seeds. It's like, they are literally taught to protect each other and to fucking not have justice served to them when shit like this happens. And it's like, I think the world is finally waking up. I feel like this newer generation of kids and young people are just finally just tired of seeing the same shit happening over and over and over again without no fucking repercussions. And honestly, even though a lot of fucked up shit is happening, it's really beautiful to see this many people coming together and taking a stand, bro. So.
It's nice to see people not feeling hopeless, because I feel like that is kind
I
of
think
like
we're over feeling hopeless at this point.
that's like
bro.
the default way of being for young people in this country, is to feel like you can't make a difference. Nothing you do is going to change anything. There's no reason for you to be involved in the political process. There's no possible uprising against the government. In a weird way, seeing the cops so scared, and I mean, I'm not an anarchist, but seeing the way that like a lot of these cops are having to like relent and basically be like overpowered by the protesters, well, really by the people, in a way is sort of motivational, because it makes you realize like, oh, we're not necessarily stuck in the system that we're already in. Like, things can happen that are so dramatic that, you know, you might not like how it looks on the surface while it's happening, but we might, you know, we're not necessarily stuck doing the same bullshit forever.
There's definitely strength in numbers, and there's a lot of us.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, you made a really good point earlier. You said, you know, just like about feeling hopeless and feeling like there's nothing you can do. I've always felt like that. I up until this point, I don't think I voted in my whole life up until like maybe the Trump election or some shit like that.
You voted for Trump?
No, I did not vote for Trump at all.
Tell us why.
But I don't know. It's just crazy, because like that was some shit I always resonated with. It was like I felt like my one voice wasn't gonna do anything, or like my, you know, I didn't have a platform to speak on at the time, and like, you know, that's just.
And also the fucking the tweets from Trump is just insane.
Jesus.
He's inciting all of this shit.
He's making it so much worse at every turn.
Was that the mayor of LA saying? Who was that? The mayor of LA that said
the
that?
police chief who said like the George Floyd's death is as much on the hands of the protesters as it is on the cop who killed the guy.
Absolutely
now
not.
He came out afterwards and said like, oh, that's the opposite of what I meant. That's not what I meant to say.
But what do you mean that's the opposite of what you meant when that's what what you said?
You're giving the speech that's probably going to be the most viewed speech that you've ever given in your entire life, and somehow
That's
you
what you're gonna
said that. I'm going to be honest with you. I was so trapped in this world of information, I didn't even actually watch it. I just saw people being appalled by it.
Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing. You know, speaking of watching the whole thing, I saw SZA say something very similar to what I said to you last week, which was we don't need to see the violence and watch the play-by-play videos of someone being murdered to want to make a change and be informed. So,
but
shout out to SZA.
I think at the same time, the world needed to see that George Floyd clip, because that's whole reason why shit is going nuts
and guess
right
what?
now.
You're completely right. It would have not happened if it wasn't no video and it didn't go viral. I'm just saying, me as a person who has been in these predicaments with guns drawn on me by police, being roughed up by police, it's like it's a little traumatic, and it's like, you know, like I personally don't need to watch the video of him losing his life second by second for me to feel what's going on, and for me to want to take action and donate and post on my social media and protest and all that shit. Like,
yeah, I mean,
that's all I was saying.
I saw that one clip, like the actual clip of him dying, and I saw maybe like a 1.5-minute long version. And then I realized there's an 8-minute long version where you could really see the shit happen. And I was like, I definitely I don't need to see that. I saw another clip came out that's like, oh, look, here's proof that they basically beat George up before the scene with him on the ground. I was like, I'll take your word for it. I don't don't want to like think more about what was happening at that place at that time, you know, which is.
Yeah, that's all I was trying to say, for real.
No, I get that 100%. Can I just take a quick break at a really inopportune time to say shout out to our sponsor, Plug Play. Plug and Play.
Never miss a beat.
Hey, we should have done it earlier, but I'm just going to say it right now. I've been really fucking with this thing. You know, I've needed something to take my mind off the bullshit, and the pen helps. Also, my girlfriend's pregnant.
It's not bullshit.
Right, well, all the shit, because there is a lot of bullshit too that you have to be wading through, and if you want to wade through it, the Plug and Play might be for you.
There you go, man.
Link in description.
There we go. Hopefully Plug and Play is doing something and giving some donations.
Thank you, Plug
I will
and Play.
make sure of such.
I'm gonna also push. I'm gonna have a meeting with Puff Bar to see if I can get them to do something too.
Oh yeah, let's talk to him. But for now, we fucking with Plug Play, tangy cream.
Speaking of people pushing companies to do something. The Weeknd and
Half a
Russ.
million he donated, huh?
Yeah, that was crazy. But also, not only did he donate, he also put out a public statement and basically calling out Apple Music, Spotify, Warner, Sony, all the fucking big record labels to, not just take a part of this Blackout Tuesday. Let's be quiet for a day. Dude, I went on SoundCloud yesterday on my laptop and like the SoundCloud logo was like blacked out and like everything was like, it was like blacked out, right? But then you just click and then it just goes back to the regular page. I was just like, what was the purpose of this?
Well, do you get that feeling in general?
What did that do? Blacking out the SoundCloud logo on this. What the fuck?
And what do we really need SoundCloud to raise more awareness about this? It's like everybody is talking about this. If you're going to do something that's completely superfluous, doesn't hurt your business, doesn't slow your business down. When I see something like Rihanna and she shuts her fucking the Fenty website down for a day, it might just be symbolic, but that's probably like $100,000, many tens of thousands of dollars, et cetera, lost that day. Yeah, you're going to make it up the next day. But I think that that's a good statement. It actually does something, it actually means something. Even when I donated, I'm like, okay, at first I was about to do $1,000. I'm like, it feels like it has to hurt a little bit, like it has to be enough that you care, it's like you have to, that's like part of the black square thing. Like even before people started fucking denouncing it and stuff, I'm just sort of
that was kind of one of the first things I thought about too.
This just feels like the easiest thing for you to do. Like it's
especially when people who weren't speaking up and had nothing to say about the whole situation, then Tuesday come around, they post a fucking black picture, like a black square, and they're like, I'm going, like, this is me being silent in solidarity. And I'm like, nigga, you were already silent. You didn't say anything, especially these like influencers and young people who use black culture the most. They fucking making TikToks to rap music. They fucking dress like black girls. They have their hair in braids and all this shit. And it's like when some real shit is happening, you have nothing to say, and then you want to post a black square on your Instagram.
And a lot of these white people that I see like fucking trying, like they basically have taken this thing as like this creative writing assignment to be like, oh, let me like just go on camera or let me get in my Instagram caption and just tell you how not racist I am in as many words as possible. And it's like, a lot of times I'm like, wow, this is so obvious to me that you have never really been around any significant amount of black people, because I feel like a lot of the black people on earth would look at what you've written here and be like, holy shit, what, like your intentions are in the right place, but you need to calm the fuck down, fall back.
But even
this is not your, like, you are just not in a position to be giving us a fucking lecture in the caption. Like, you have no life experience. You haven't spent any fucking time around black people. You don't go out of your way to surround yourself with black people. You don't know anything about the culture.
But that's
you could apply all this to me too, to some extent. I get it.
No, that's not what I was about to say at all.
Right.
I was going to say, even to touch on your point about their intentions being good, at that point, my nigga, your intentions aren't good because you were literally just doing this as self-preservation and self-righteousness to make yourself look good. So at that point, your intentions aren't even good anymore.
Right. And like, oh, what a coincidence that you've never said anything about how racism is bad in your entire fucking life. And then at the exact moment where the entire fucking culture is talking about nothing else, all of a sudden you have a motivational statement to make. It's like, I mean, it's just like, as white people, especially in a moment like this, you really need to be able to look at the game, see what's going on, and know that, like, say your piece, make it clear that you're not a Trump supporter, you're not on that side of the aisle, and then maybe just fall back. Maybe you don't need to do the creative writing assignment on Twitter every day. Maybe you should just, amplify other people's voices that have something important to say.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely seen a lot of people making like really strong positive statements that I appreciated. And especially like some of the business owners and shit. But at the end of the day, that's kind of like, my nigga, that's what you literally have to do. Like, if you are smart and, like, you have to pick a side basically at that point.
A lot of companies and shit, it just feels like, oh, you're scared. Like, you're scared, and that's why you're
scared
posting
of
this.
losing black business. So,
or being labeled Trump supporting,
If you stay silent during this time and you don't fucking take a stance against this, people are going to remember that forever, and they will not show support to your business. They will not fuck with you, and you won't get a fucking cosign from any black people anymore if you didn't speak out and say something positive. So
So I'm totally with you guys on the people that just do this to save face or this and that, or write their creative essays. But like, what exactly are they supposed to do? Because it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't for them. Maybe you as a white person, can you help them to, like, what should they do?
I mean, I definitely think there's a lot of value in making it clear what side of the fucking aisle you're on. I just think, at a certain point, I just don't want to see this fucking random TikTok kid writing a fucking MLK speech in his caption, because you just don't need to do all that. Like, make it clear where you're at, and just, it's like you just don't need to give a lecture on something you know nothing about. It ultimately just doesn't really look right. It's like I've just seen a lot of stuff that's cringy. You see this one TikTok kid, this white kid who like clearly went to the fucking protest to make this like cool video of himself. God. I was just like, oh, like that's by far the worst one I've seen.
Yeah. I've seen some like white Instagram bitches doing the same shit. Like
yeah, they were texting each other like, let's go protest today. Oh my God, what are you gonna wear?
Somebody called out this girl that we know. I didn't even think about it like that, but she was like looking all hot and was like, oh, like this is my protest fit and like blah blah, and she was just like,
yeah, which makes no sense. Which makes no sense, because it, people who are gonna wear, let's say, skimpy outfits or whatnot, like if you get tear gas, like you want to have your whole body covered, so you should not go out in cute quote unquote outfits.
You know what's crazy? One of my homegirls got arrested who was not protesting, who was just downtown. Her car was parked downtown. She was walking to her car and the cops like grabbed her and threw her into like a group of other people and like group arrested them and left them on the bus for like 5 hours. And she said while she was on the bus, like handcuffed, they were playing like loud rock music. They had all the lights turned off, and that they were just on this bus for fucking hours, and they didn't let them off.
Crazy. The whatever those buses are look insane. My friend Goons got arrested in downtown on Saturday, and he was like live streaming the whole thing. I was like, Jesus Christ.
How was he live streaming? He was arrested.
I don't know. He's on the bus. I don't know.
He kept live streaming on the bus. He wasn't handcuffed. I guess how many pairs of handcuffs do they have?
I mean, the zip tie. I saw
videos
of like people being like, "This is how you get out of the zip tie."
Yeah,
so
that shit's
maybe
easy.
he got out of the zip tie, but he was on.
You're still on the bus though.
From my many pairs of off-white sneakers, I know how to work a zip tie.
How many pairs of off-white shoes have you owned in your life?
I mean, a couple to know how to work a zip tie now.
Also, I knew how to use zip ties before that. I'm not into on the topic of off-white. I'm not into all like the donation shaming at all.
That's facts, but at the end of the day, you got to realize it's like, okay, I'm the type of person, I'm gonna look at shit from all angles, right? So I see it from the angle of him being like, I am a Virgil being like, I guess, participating in a challenge of like, like a train of like, oh, like match my donation, blah, blah, blah.
That's how he thought it was going to be taken. Because it's like 50-50. Like he's basically saying like a lot of his fans might do 50, so he's trying to get them to do the chain as well.
Which is completely understandable. Right. But I feel like he did not speak up enough before that. I feel like he was very outspoken with the round Sean Witherspoon store situation, and he was very outspoken with that. And then you like post his donation of $50, and it's like, I'm gonna keep it 2 Virgils with you, bro. I feel like you could have just did a little more. Or if he claims that he did another donation that was way bigger, but I don't think he posted it until after. And it's like,
yeah, apparently he sent 20,000.
Which is beautiful.
But that's the problem with these fashion dudes. They live in the fucking clouds, and they just they don't like pay attention to politics that much.
I don't think it's fashion dudes. I think it's just like once you just reach a higher level. Because like we could pull back old statements of like A$AP Rocky kind of saying the same thing, of him being like, like I be in Soho, I be in Paris, like these. Like I don't, like these issues don't affect me, or like Lil Wayne saying that like racism doesn't apply to him, So it's like it's just rich nigger problems. Once you get to a certain level that you just are not looking into the like real life.
But okay, and to his credit, Virgil, like it's awesome if he doesn't spend that much time on Twitter, so he didn't like immediately anticipate how that would be viewed.
No, for sure.
For me, like I spend enough time on Twitter that I know I've already seen people getting shamed for not doing it enough. So I could have told you that was going to happen. Granted, it's nice to be Virgil, that you're rich as fuck and you don't have to necessarily know exactly what's going on the internet, and you still want to make your piece known. But I seen him like he clearly is not like super wrapped up in paying attention to politics, because there was another thing that I saw him say that was like, who are the new young thinkers that can do for politics what we did to streetwear with Off-White and Pyrex and whatever? And I'm like, bro, like this hurts my head to even think about what the fuck you think you're talking about right there. Like, who are the new thinkers that are?
Bro, they were pulling up pictures of like him and his whole like his white family and shit, and it's just like,
oh, those.
Damn, they were cooking this. Nigga,
that is his wife though, that white woman.
Yeah. He has. Yeah.
Hey, I ain't mad at it, but those photos are funny as fuck.
in the moment. It's just like, I don't know, man.
All the
it's
people
like,
making like Virgil $50 bill shirts and stuff.
I'm gonna keep it to Virgil.
I'm gonna keep it to
That's one of the better memes that came out of all this. I mean, but
I'm not gonna lie, shit's hilarious.
You got every reason to stay off of social media right now. Like if you are somebody who is, unless you're 100% sure that what you're posting is safe, then you should be very, very careful. Like Karen Civil and Virgil, both for many reasons, should be like heroes of the fucking. Not telling anybody who should be the hero or whatever. But
you said who?
Karen Civil and Virgil, both like extremely successful people within the black community. Everybody's proud of their success. I would assume, etc. They both have managed to like become targets by just being a little tone deaf throughout this.
But you know what's crazy, especially with like someone like Virgil. Okay, how many? Bro, Half Evil raised like what, like $70K or some crazy shit like that?
$90K almost.
Bro, they raised hella money by just dropping an old T-shirt they had already dropped and re-putting it out and donating 100% of the proceeds to I don't remember what organization, but
like Chicago bailout.
Beautiful, right? I seen so many other brands like. I saw Fresh Jive re-release a shirt that I have that just says "Black is not a crime" with like some black hands and handcuffs, and a lot of people were coming up with new designs and shit like that. That would have been so easy for him to drop a fucking off-white, political
Anything.
shirt, whatever. I don't know, a fucking off-white zip tie, and donate the proceeds from that and post that.
Yeah,
and you would have got no slack.
I mean, yeah, like if you don't like in particular what I was saying earlier about like white influencer kids and stuff, it's like now would be a great time for you to not say that much but do a significant donation, because then you're not grandstanding and you are doing something that will have a material difference. I think that quite often, but then if you find yourself like that one TikTok kid, like he went to the protest, he got arrested on purpose so that he could have a photo. Like, did you see the one photo of him with his hands behind his back and the cops holding him?
He begged the police officers to put him in cuffs so
Wait,
he could take a
that?
picture. That's what it said on Twitter. I mean, you can
my
only
God,
believe what
man.
you read so much, but I believe it.
But that clip right there,
Fuck
and
that kid.
I don't know who the fuck he is. I don't know if he actually did donate or if he has any kind of history of doing good things for the community, whatever. But like, that's the definition of what you should not do. Make a video that makes you look like you had this really sexy, fun, cool protest experience.
Sexy, cool, fun should not be tied in with protest.
That's how I'm trying to describe what he was trying to get off there.
It's just blowing my mind.
But I mean, yeah, in that moment, like if you do something that doesn't actually have a positive effect but makes you look really cool and dangerous and shit on your TikTok,
fuck you.
Yeah, fuck off. And also that song he used, that was a big part of what pissed me off too.
What song did he use?
Wait. Speaking of songs, shout out to his family. David Guetta.
Oh my God, with the MLK intro.
The EDMLK mix.
EDMLK.
They should remember, has your shirt EDMLK?
I know, that would be fire.
Write that down.
Listen, as a EDM legend, EDM producer, EDM DJ who has played multiple EDM festivals.
You're probably good friends with David Guetta.
How did you feel about that? Okay, first of all, for anyone who doesn't know,
I don't speak. Okay, go on.
Can I get it out first?
Yeah.
For anyone
big me up.
For anyone who doesn't know, David Guetta, whatever the fuck, however you say it, he is a very prominent EDM DJ who decided to go through with the live stream that he was already doing. I guess that he already had planned, and he spoke about George Floyd. He gave a shout out to him and his family. And then he proceeded to drop an EDM mix that started with like a Martin Luther King "I Have a Dream" speech, and then it like just went into like a blah 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 blah.
That's the thing, is that if you have something you're good at right now, it seems appropriate. Like, oh, I'm going to take the thing that I'm good at and I'm going to do it for a good cause, but maybe not an EDM song. Like that to me. Maybe this is not the proper form.
It's just so many other ways you could have went about that. You could have just stopped the whole stream for a second, did a moment of silence. You could have
done anything but that.
Anything but that.
Gunna had that performance booked, and then he didn't like do a MLK Wanna remix. He did he gave the money
from the performance
to a charity.
There we go.
And did his normal songs that people actually like. That makes a lot of sense to me.
It's beautiful, yeah.
And he also wore like a black leather jacket and stuff, which I thought was tasteful. He didn't have his usual crazy drip. He went a little more tasteful.
I respect that. Also, Gunna is black and like
That changes things a lot too. That's a very good point.
His whole little shout out to the family and stuff.
he's like shout out to his family.
It was just awful to see, honestly.
Yeah, like should he have known better or should he not have known better?
I mean,
can't
some people just don't. Okay, this is a problem. Some people just don't know because they don't have anyone.
Is
Black
he even
around.
from America?
No,
I don't think so. They don't have anyone black around them. They don't have any black people in places of power around them. Maybe their manager or even their label exec or whatever. And so they can't tell them like, don't fucking do this. This is tasteless and wrong.
If you live in a bubble where everybody thinks that you're this great DJ and that everywhere you go, people are just showing you love and saying you're great, you're the best DJ in the world. You're not really in contact with the fact that like most people like myself think that actually no, EDM sucks and we don't give a fuck about this and please don't tie it into an important social movement. Maybe just like he's somebody I would have much rather he in that moment have done his normal set, not mention anything about George Floyd, and then none of us would be talking about it because we would have ignored it just like every other performance he's ever done in his life.
Yeah, or
Make a tasteful statement.
or donate.
Yeah.
tasteful statement and donate and then leave it alone. Shouting out his family and then dropping a fucking I Have a Dream MLK EDM remix. That was fucking insane.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is
He might have ended racism with that.
I
to
felt
be
like
honest.
he didn't really get that much heat for that because it's like the people don't have enough bandwidth to really process all the crazy shit that's happened.
Facts. And like in hindsight, it's like it wasn't that bad. I don't think he did it on purpose. Like he wasn't trying to be a dickhead or nothing. Like it wasn't that bad. Whatever, but it was just hilarious that he thought that was the way to go.
Do something.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Hopefully he learns from this and doesn't do stupid shit like this again.
I don't think he'll learn from it because I don't think I really saw any crazy backlash. Like the most I saw was like the viral tweet of the video, and then it was just like I can't believe he like thought this was a good idea or something like that. It wasn't like we need to cancel David Guetta or whatever the fuck his name is.
I think he definitely saw that tweet that went viral.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm actually going to pull up the Karen Civil photo.
Someone said it was hilarious. So Karen Civil was like wearing the shirt with the guy's face on it, and what did
Like
he say?
off-white shoes.
Oh yeah, with the
and-
cop's face.
With the cop's face on it, it said like he did that shit, whatever. At the end of the day, I am a nigga who owns very controversial shirts and shit like that, and just like I don't think you really need to wear the nigga's face on your shirt to necessarily, unless it's like defacing his face.
Glorify. Well, I mean, I know she's not trying to glorify it, but anything that makes him, there's like the whole thing with the school shooters where you like don't say the names of the school shooters or whatever because you don't want to make them more famous. I don't know that this cop necessarily like wanted to be famous, but just seeing him on a shirt really. Oh, look, David Guetta should know better. His ex-wife is black and they have kids.
Oh wow.
That's what a close comrade of mine just texted me.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about.
Wait, they said what?
They said that David Guetta's ex-wife is black and they have kids together. So it's like he should be relatively tapped into the black experience.
This
enough
nigga
to
literally
maybe,
has
His
black.
black kids.
Well, maybe that's why he felt like he needed to speak out, but just the EDM.
Yeah.
I have a dream. I have a dream remix.
His kids probably think that EDM's tight. His wife probably
Do
thinks
his
that
kids
he's
really
tight.
think that EDM is tight?
Some kids out there. Karen Civil, okay, the off-white socks with sandals, the
cares?
bait bag.
Who cares about her fit though?
I felt like the whole
Is that what they're
fit was
mad
part
about?
of it too.
But
I think
people
people-
can't cancel Karen Civil. She's done way
They're
too
trying
much.
pretty hard though.
She's
I mean,
done
They're
way
trying to
too
cancel her
much.
because she was wearing off white because Virgil donated too little money. So they're
was
trying
this
to.
before or after the Virgil thing? That's a good question.
I think that they were trying to rev it up more because she's wearing off white, and I'm just like, nigga, off white is still a brand that was like popular that people still own clothes of.
I would urge more unity in general. I would say that, yeah, maybe Virgil did something goofy. Maybe Karen Civil wore a weird shirt. Maybe let's just like, give them the benefit of the doubt. They're clearly
You
like.
can't try to cancel black people right now for
That's what
fucking
I'm saying.
nothing.
It seems like such a good time to not cancel people who maybe don't need to be canceled because there's just every day you see
Cancel.
a different cop killing someone, doing something fucked
Cancel
up.
the
It's kind of
fucking
like,
cops.
let's just hone in on that. It's so much easier to pick apart the people that are in your community,
Yeah.
Yeah, and Blasey told me that Jason posted something pretty significant about like we're so quick to like cancel individuals like artists or let's say Karen Civil or whoever, Virgil, but it's like we need to cancel these big corporations and take a stand against them. Like people, like Wendy's donating whatever million to Trump's re-election campaign, and I don't know. We need to make a change in our
Important things
everyday
can come from
life.
this. Like I've always wondered why hip hop did not like support its own more, in the sense of like with just the clothing thing. Like, how is it like Gucci and Louis are the like number one thing that people are wearing, and then there's like countless rapper owned clothing brands or streetwear brands that are owned by people in the community and stuff that just don't seem like they get the support, and they shrivel up within a couple of years. It's like, but people are sharing those messages. Like, people are saying,
for sure,
support this company because they are actually doing something really, this is of your culture. And that's like,
and the thing is, like, think about how popular in the early 2000s all the rap owned brands were, and how fucking much money they made, and how you could not leave your house without, like, if you didn't have Rockaware, if you didn't have Fubu, well, I guess back in the day, if you didn't have Sean John Rockaware, Fat Farm, some of these like brands, like, you just weren't it. Like, you were out of the loop if you didn't have some of those brands in that time. And it's like, a lot of that has been lost. But also at the same time though, you got like Off-White, and even though I don't agree, but like V-Lone and shit like that, those are black owned.
And RSVP.
Well, RSVP. That's why Virgil is so important, because this is a black dude who started his own brand, made that shit so poppin' that's basically a designer brand, fits in that world.
Well, he started one brand, elevated it to another brand,
then started another brand, basically made it like high fashion. Off-White is like almost like it's 100% in that category. Then goes and fucking gets the biggest job that you can imagine
at
anybody.
The biggest fashion house.
And that's like, that's why for me it's like
that was a job that Kanye West was like trying to fucking.
Was that a Trap Lord Ross video? Wasn't it?
Basically, it wasn't. It wasn't a Trap Lord Ross video, but
someone else.
Trap something had it.
Trap Geek.
Maybe Trap Geek.
Was it Trap Geek?
Also, I was watching all his videos today. It's super creepy.
Trap fashion.
It's super creepy because I thought that only Instagram and Facebook are listening, but I think YouTube's listening too now, because every time you guys tell me to watch whoever the fuck it's in my homepage now. I watched a lot of Trap Geek videos on the way here.
Oh my god, you know how many ops popped up in my fucking suggested today? Like just on YouTube. I'm like, oh my fucking god.
Ops?
Wow. Just random shit, like just random ass shit just been popping up in my suggested. I'm like, shit from like years ago. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know. They really are collecting data on everybody 100%. And just throwing it into your algorithm. It's crazy.
You ever like?
I see proof of it every day.
Like when I'm with my nephews and they're watching Mad Peppa Pig,
and then you go home, you got Peppa Pig, and you're
scroll past Mad Peppa Pig to get the little Mosey video and trying to rock out to.
Or like I was like talking to this girl and like we were talking about Rolexes or whatever, and like this like.
A Rolex ad on your Instagram,
bro. No, she sent me the Rolex ad on her thing like the next day. She was like, she's like, I've literally never even looked at a Rolex before. I've never typed in the word Rolex before. Like, I just don't know nothing about them. And she was like, it's crazy. We're like talking about Rolexes last night, and I wake up and that's the first thing I see on my Farfetch ad or whatever.
I mean, we spend money to retarget ads so that if you like go on the No Jumper site and look at a product and you don't buy it, and then like you might be on Instagram the next day and see an ad for that product on Instagram. Like, that's how it's able to do that. It's able
collecting cookies.
Yeah.
And that's a thing. They email you, hey, you missed this in your cart.
Yeah.
Whoa, what?
Hate those emails.
I've like almost bought a jacket before and then just seen that jacket for like 6 months. And it's like
crazy.
It's like a $500 jacket, so they're willing to like spend a shitload of money to try to get you to buy that product. Little do they know that if I didn't buy it then, I'm definitely not buying it later. Because every day that goes by, it becomes less and less drippy
and
from my perspective.
More annoying to see.
Yeah, and like,
why do you think that?
Well, don't you feel like, if you have something new before everybody wears it, or you have like, the dope thing, like that's how I view clothes, is like, if I have it before anybody, I can rock it and it's tight.
Exactly.
If I've seen 5 people wearing it,
and that's how I feel about like, some new pair of Jordans that comes out, and even if it's like exclusive, hard to get, you got a raffle or whatever, it's like, my nigga, I'm gonna go on Instagram and see 90 stories of different people wearing them, bought them, or trying to get them. And it's just like, I would much rather go and find like the nostalgic ones that like cost more money, are a little harder to find. You got to take care of them really. And it's like more of a thing than for me to just go try to cop the new shit that just came out.
The first time I ever bought a Gucci jacket and spent whatever, maybe like $1,800 or something on it.
Some rapper the next day with it.
It's just like so much worse. I saw Fousey wearing it. No offense to Fousey, but Fousey definitely had it. Then J. Cole wore it in a video, and it's not the fact that J. Cole wore it, it's the fact that J. Cole wore it
as like a
making
joke.
Fun of rappers. He was like, I forget what video it was. He's like acting like a clown, pretending to be a whack rapper. That was the jacket he wore for that role.
Exactly.
And I just seen like 2 kids. I went to Rolling Loud, saw 2 people wearing it. I'm like, I spent $1,800 for this miserable fucking experience. If I'm gonna buy a Gucci jacket, I don't want to ever see anybody wearing it ever.
No, exactly. That's how I felt on a very small, minuscule level about these fucking metallic purple 4s that just came out. And basically, like, they dropped these different all-white Jordans with like a hint of different colors, and the different colors dropped in different areas, like in different areas of the world. So like the purple ones came out in the US. I think they had like an orange pair that came out in like Australia and somewhere else. And then they had a green pair that came out and a red pair. Anyway, so I was just seeing everybody post these fucking purple pair. And I'm like, damn, like I wanted them at first. And I was like, I don't want those because like 90 motherfuckers got them on. Like not 90, like nigga, a lot of people have them on. So anyway, this dude from Australia that I know that sells shoes is now sending me the pair that didn't even release in the US. So I'm gonna be dripping on niggas with the overseas drip.
I remember one time another Gucci jacket. I bought the black one with the fucking tiger on the front, I think, and the red and green stripes on the
Sounds
sleeves.
ugly as fuck already.
Nah, that shit was hard. But I got it. Before I even got a chance to put it on, I look at Instagram and I see Gucci Mane and Lil Pump wearing it that day.
Together?
And I hadn't even got it. No, like separately. 2/3 of Gucci gang. I hadn't even been able to take it out of my trunk yet. So yeah, I ain't buying no more Gucci.
Some of that shit is timeless, and like older pieces is like, you know, is just like an all over print Gucci. I don't know. I guess I don't know, man. At the end of the day, that shit is whack. Fuck it. I'm not about to sit here and defend that shit.
If you were to show me probably like any Gucci fit from the 90s, I would probably think it was hard no matter what.
Way hard. It would probably be way harder.
Even 3-4 years ago, if you were to just pull out a random Gucci fit that was normal as fuck 4 years ago, you'd probably think it looks kind of hard now because you're not so sick of seeing it. But then I don't know, there's like a certain time period, because if you busted out some Gucci from 2 years ago and are rocking it today,
that shit would look corny as fuck.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh man, look
I mean,
at this
just like
lame
with
ass. Remember that shit?
Like you said, with the tigers and all that shit, it just looks like too Ed Hardy and like cheap, in
And
my opinion.
That's the problem with Gucci now, is that they're so over the top and the designs are so extra that it's hella easy to place them date wise. Whereas I feel like in the 90s and stuff, they weren't so over the top. That's why you needed somebody like Dapper Dan to come through and make the crazy ass Gucci and Louis designs that they wouldn't make. Now they just do it. And they put all kinds of wacky shit. That's why I think Gucci and Louis are I mean, they'll always be able to do something to figure out their business or whatever. But to me,
but it's like all the brands are doing that. It's because it's like all the information is so accessible and it's so like widespread and easy spread. Even the Dior Air Jordan 1 that
Dior Jordans.
Dexter got Dior Jordans. Oh my God, Dexter got Dior Jordans.
What the fuck is that?
You've never seen that video?
No. It's a video of famous Dex.
Went to Santee Alley and picked
talks
up,
like that?
picked up some Dior Jordans.
So no, he got a box into his house of like off-white Jordans. I mean, off-white shit, blah blah, all these different shoes, and he pulls out these, you know, like her bag right there, Dior. There's a pair of Dior Jordans that have not released yet, right? And Dexter is like flexing on Instagram, like this crazy cartoon voice, like Dexter.
Weren't they fake,
bro? They were so fake,
okay,
though.
I remember that,
they weren't just like fake, like. Bro, they were like so fake, and it was just so funny because he was just trying to flex so hard. Like, oh my God, Dexter got Dior Jordans.
Dior Jordans.
I wish Dex was still feeling himself. He was fun back then.
No, see, but I think that's what didn't translate was that like now it just seems like, bro, you're just like flexing these fake ass Santee Alley shoes. Like, what's it like? Give me another place that sells fake stuff. I don't know. I don't want to keep saying Santee Alley.
Chinatown.
Just I don't know. It was just like the worst bootleg version of these shoes, and he was like, "It's like he's feeling."
Yeah, I get it.
You're feeling yourself too much at that point. That you're flexing all these fake ass shoes.
But that's
Maybe
like,
he didn't know.
He probably did know. That's probably why he made the video.
I kind of put Lil Xan and Famous Dex in sort of like a similar category where they had a wave, they didn't really keep it up.
Damn, you put them in the same category.
And then
Dex had much more of a wave.
He had more songs that people liked, but he never had that one huge song.
Yeah, I was going to say that might be a differentiator right there.
That's the difference. But then the thing is that they were very like enjoyable social media characters when they were super like energetic and everything. But then eventually the drugs kind of take a toll on you, and eventually people don't really want to watch you just being all dopey and drugged up.
It's a fact, man. I don't know. I just all my young black brothers out there, man. Not Lil Xan. He's not a young black
I was
brother.
thinking, I'm like, are you talking Lil Xan?
But yeah, man. I don't know, man. I just wish the best for everyone, man. I wish niggas, get it together and stop flexing fake Jordans.
Stop, yeah.
Nah, but
Would you protest fake Jordans?
oh my God, yes,
Nice,
actually.
okay. I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Okay. You know what's funny though? I thought about that because Dex is one of the niggas that like he like wears like mixed match shoes all the time on purpose.
Really?
Yeah, like he'll have on like two different Jordans, like two different completely covered colors, like two different Vans, like two completely different pairs. And that was the first thing I thought of, and I was like, what are you niggas that are looting like round two and like you get like
my
one
God.
shoe off the wall? What are you gonna do? Just famous Dex it and just wear another pair?
I saw a lot of people running out with shoe boxes from running shoe stores, but then you got to think that there's a lot of left side shoes.
There was a lot of shoes that are just on the wall that I know niggas just grabbed real
That's
quick.
why if you want to get shit, you got to go all the way in back and then find your
And by
size.
the time you do that, you could be
you are
fucked.
going to be busted. I used to work at a shoe store. You go back there to find a pair of shoes,
You're gonna
it could take a while.
Bro,
Yeah.
you're gonna be fucked. Well, see, I mean, I was about to say, well, that's the good part, but this is not good at all. But most of those places that the really expensive shoes are in the glass together in a pair. So it's like if you got in there early, you probably got
The hammer.
the good shit.
There's so much. I heard somebody describe it as riot porn because
What?
it's you're like watching it and it's like it's super thrilling to watch it for a few seconds, but ultimately you don't really gain anything from it and it just sort of leaves you feeling hollow or whatever. But I mean, normally like there's probably been 1,000 clips over the past week that would have been the most viral clip of that week if they had happened in any other week.
Yeah.
But people run it.
facts.
The white dude with the sandals who runs out of the fucking shoe store and
then
he
drops
turns,
off.
he sees the cops and he throws the boxes in
Like,
the
what
air.
was the
Wait,
purpose of doing
Also,
that?
the cops looting.
Have you
Oh
seen
my
that?
God, I saw so
That's
many
kinda
pictures of.
crazy.
I feel like a lot of that shit's fake news. I'm going to be totally honest with you.
think
I don't
so?
think the cops put the bricks there either. I think Antifa's out there putting the pallets of bricks in the
That
middle of
makes
the city.
zero sense to me, though. It's like
The
there's
cops
no
wanting the
construction.
city to be destroyed is what doesn't make sense to me. I feel like that people
you-
people
really?
who want the riots are the ones putting those bricks there. That's just my.
But it's like there's literally like tow trucks and shit
Dropping
delivering the
off
bricks.
bricks.
So like
In every single city.
who's paying? Yeah, like
Antifa. I'm just going full Fox News and blaming everything on Antifa.
Yeah,
Jesus
I
Christ,
don't know.
man.
That's just me. But
I don't know, bro.
no, but I've seen a lot of
It
stuff.
seems
like,
hella suspicious to
It
me.
does.
there was a clip
Suspicious.
that's like, watch this cop putting this weapon into this guy's hand once he's already on the ground.
Oh,
and
I
like,
saw that.
Because I found like a BuzzFeed article pretty early on
That
that was
happens
like,
every day, though.
but
and they plant drugs
But
on people
in
every
this
day.
specific clip with mad people filming, it would have been pretty surprising to see him do this. And then it's like, boom, like there was like this BuzzFeed fucking article I was reading that they were like updating consistently of like, look at all these fake things that are happening. And like, obviously BuzzFeed is pretty much in the category of like wanting to make the protesters look good unless they absolutely don't have to. They're mega leftists. But there's just so much stuff that has been sort of like painted in one way or another that I really recommend that people do their research, because I've seen tweets of like hundreds of thousands of retweets and then like you really look into it and it's like, oh yeah, that didn't happen the way that they're trying to make it look.
Okay, so back to the brick thing. How do you explain them being dropped off by government like machinery?
If
like-
I saw that, I would like to see that. Yeah, I'm not saying
You
that
know?
I know everything. I'm just saying that I think that a much more likely
makes no
cause
sense.
is the people who want the city to
riot.
be
Yeah.
destroyed would drop that off. It feels like no matter what you think of the cops probably don't want more
But you don't think
people
they
breaking
wanna,
shit.
You don't think they want to like, because that way, if there's like all these bricks and shit being thrown at the cops, and like that's like more incentive for them to like harm people,
Arrest people
and arrest people,
fucking beat them.
and eventually like invoke fucking martial law and just.
That
But I
and-
don't think most cops want where we're
Not
at
most-
right now.
not most cops,
I don't
no.
even think like a lot of cops want this. I think most cops would rather go to work and have a nice, safe, easy day.
Where they don't have to get.
Maybe you get to punch somebody around a little bit, but you don't really, you get to give somebody a parking ticket, whatever, make them cry. I don't think most cops really like want
Well, that-
more danger.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think-
But I
More
don't think I don't
more-
think, I don't think
police
most
department-
cops are making the decision. It's the people on top.
And it's not like the police department are pulling up and fucking dropping off the bricks by hand. But also, I think I even saw a video of that. The
That-
video of the alley, and it's like the big black police truck, and they were like gathering bricks and shit. And it's just like, what is the?
And all the like undercover cops. I haven't looked too much into that, and I don't know.
Yeah, that
too
was
much
really
about that,
weird.
but that was weird. They're
The under.
they're trying to say that
Vroom.
I heard that.
Everybody
Vroom,
else.
vroom.
Like the undercover cops like sneaking into the protests and just
And
like
like causing mayhem and making people like
Yeah.
more
I saw-
likely to loot and fucking throw
I kept
bricks.
seeing videos of like it'll be people walking and it'll be like a random white dude will bust through the crowd, like bust a window or some shit, and then just like run away. And it's like they weren't going into the store and looting or anything, but they kind of started it off, and then everyone else like joined in after.
I think there's just a lot of people that want to see everything burn.
Yeah.
They just want to see destruction and mania. You know, then that's a weird thing is that when I think about how I would have been acting if I was 19 or 20 and all this shit was going on, I'm not so confident that I wouldn't have been
Yeah, I'm not
wilding
gonna
out.
lie.
You know, I probably would have been.
I was thinking the same thing, bro.
I'd be probably running out the store with 3 pairs of Vans under my arm, and it's kind of just weird to think about because in that way, I very much like empathize with probably a lot of people watching this who think that the looting is kind of tight and that they would probably be there looting if they had the chance, whatever. I get it. That's like a young man thing that, like, you know, some people lose it over time.
Dev said that exact thing, and I thought about it too. I'm like, man, maybe if I was 21 and like I didn't have this relationship with the people that work around too or at these stores or whatever, I probably wouldn't give a fuck, and I probably would have went as my sole intention was to go do something like that, you know?
Yeah, I was 13, 14, 15 stealing CDs from stores that when I think about it now, I'm like, wow, it's actually like, that's like a really legitimate business that really contributes to the community where I came from and stuff. It's not necessarily a big corporation. It's just like the local music store. And I was robbing that shit for CDs because, like, you know, what the fuck did I care? I didn't have like that. I couldn't empathize with a grown man who owned a business that didn't want to be losing his CDs. The same way all those kids robbing around too, they don't give a fuck. Like, they're not thinking about what they're actually doing to somebody.
Yeah.
And even if they did, like, know exactly what they're doing, it's like, whatever. Some
They're just trying to
white
come
dude
up.
you're never going to get to meet. Oh, you're going to feel bad for him? No, a lot of people aren't going to feel bad for him because they're just not, they're not at
Yeah.
that
No, that's
state of their
facts.
life, you know?
That's facts. And like, you know, I think that's why the whole Virgil thing got like very misconstrued is because like he was speaking out super passionately about it. And like, I mean, in a way, I understand because like, you know, I know those dudes. I know fucking Jay Boosie. I know Luke. I know Chris. I know fucking hella people that work there and work for them. And I know how much time and effort and work that they put into shit or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's just a casualty of something that's way bigger than shoes and clothes and property and all of that shit, you know?
People's lives.
Yeah, man. And like I said, I really respect Luke for speaking out and saying something very, very early on. And just, you know,
I would just encourage, you know, the people watching this and stuff. It's like if you have friends who are, you know, out there raising havoc, I would just say, you know, be a little thoughtful if you can. Try not to ruin the business of somebody who at least has like a role. You know, when you see somebody robbing the liquor store, you know, I feel for the liquor store owner, but you know, the liquor store is maybe not somebody you can empathize with, and you could argue that the liquor store maybe has a negative effect on society as a whole. The payday loan place, I don't really know what you're robbing when you run up in there, but
like they have a whole bunch of cash just laying around.
yeah, I don't think that
Probably
that's probably. I think they probably have like a 800-pound safe that you probably wouldn't necessarily be able to get into.
They're saying Icebox people couldn't really steal anything.
All the
'cause
replicas were the shit that was in front, and all the real shit was in the safe. I heard. So people run up in there and take the replicas. That's what I heard.
Damn, so like you'll be flexing with a fake Rolex.
A lot of people would be totally fine with that.
I mean, probably, right?
offer up looking crazy right now.
Yo, maybe the drank price will finally come down.
No,
now
hell no. I've been hearing that it's been going even crazier.
After this,
Bro.
But there's mad pints out on the streets now. Like
But
probably
yeah.
not that many.
Yeah,
but.
no. There probably is, but think about it though. Everybody has the same mentality of like, oh, there is no lean right now. There's like probably a drought, and we're gonna upcharge. This nigga, I was talking to this nigga last night. He was like, man, I don't want to, but I think I'm about to pay $160 a line.
I know people that a couple years ago swore they would never pay $70 a line, and now they're paying $150 a line, buying pints of wok for $2,000 plus. You know, it's like activist prices for regular ass drink now.
That's fucking retarded, bro.
It's a whole new world. I'm about to get on my
Goddamn.
active Visa. You know,
Bro, just know.
anybody who got the Mexican drink, hit me.
I mean, we probably won't be able to get it in right now, right?
Well, we probably won't be able to tell because we're not like the most experienced drink sippers.
Probably like
You not.
expired and
I
like
can
5
tell.
years old.
You sip
No.
Fent drink, so
Active
you off,
Visa is lit.
you off the Fentavis.
You looking at me?
Both of
Yeah,
you.
you're staring directly
Yeah,
to her
like,
eyes. I'm
what
like,
are you talking about?
are you off the Fent juice?
Definitely not.
No?
That's you right there.
All you gotta do is sip some par and drop a perk in it.
Isn't the
God.
par got discontinued too, right?
Nah, I'm just talking shit. Yeah,
I heard that par got discontinued because one time
Please
don't do that, kids.
activate-
I was
don't-
joking.
don't.
one time I called out. Somebody sold me some drink, and I fucking called them out because I was telling them, I'm like, I know you sold me some fake shit, and I sent Dub a clip of me
Hesh? Was it
pouring.
Hesh?
Yes, it was Hesh. I sent, I was pouring it.
Hesh.
No, actually, it was someone else, and I was pouring it out,
Celeste?
and I sent it
Celeste?
to. Nah, you don't know. Well, you do, but I sent it to Dub, and Dub's like, nah, that's par. Like he knew immediately from just seeing it drip out of the bottle. That's a real drink, man, right there.
Crazy.
And I'm like, what's par? And he's like, it's all right, you know, like it ain't fake. And I was like,
That's
shit.
what I was trying to tell niggas last night.
That was when I found out about par. But
Yeah.
I heard the
It's-
par's discontinued. Now they got fake par.
It's funny because
Niggas sipping fake par.
Phoenix Flexing like loves par apparently, and like
Really?
they're always just like, "Where's the par?" And then like I don't know, they're just tagging this like par account that's just like a random person's last name or something. It's really funny.
If you really love drink, let's be real. If you really love drink, you're gonna be drinking drink no matter what kind of drink it is, as long as it ain't green or it ain't. And there's probably a lot of people drinking green, but as long as it ain't total trash, even if you're an experienced drink sipper, the shit is so expensive, so hard to get now that like motherfuckers might act bougie, but they are probably not bougie.
Hey, before Lil Pump, Dub sold me lean. Lucky said that in his new album.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's real.
Fire, right?
I introduced Dub to Lil Pump.
Can I
Did
hit
you guys listen to Lil Yachty's tape? Or,
I did.
Or
I did.
album? I enjoyed it.
I liked it. I
liked
gotta
it
listen
too.
to it closer, but in general, I fucked with it.
Honestly, I've
I
been
feel
having.
bad that he had to drop
I
at
know,
this
man.
time.
Fuck. It's just
But-
like such a
but,
bad. But he was out there protesting,
Exactly, for the
doing his
greater
shit,
good.
and not promoting the fuck out of his album, which would any other rapper would have been doing. Some other rapper would have been.
Woke boat.
Some rapper would have been with the bullhorn. Like, yeah,
Playing
man.
their tape.
Yeah, man, we really need to do this. Also, Lil Bo 3 out now. I'm so glad he didn't.
I think that.
Very classy of him, bro. Especially in a world where everybody thinks that they're fucking RIAA fucking certified specialists, and they think that they're about to analyze the first week number. Why is that a thing now? Like
Why
everyone,
do people care about first week numbers so
feel like
I've
much?
been for like 20 years.
no
50
No,
did it.
I-
I blame 50.
No, okay,
People
like
cared.
the industry cared, but I don't think people
People
fans
just like
didn't care.
there was
as
not
much.
niggas on MySpace posting about fucking Soulja Boy's first week numbers, bro. It was just not a thing.
The thing about it too is that it is fucking pretty irrelevant. Like it does tell you something now, but we also know that like there's a lot of ways to be a popular or successful rapper without selling a lot of album sales. So
Which is,
Yeah.
which is Lil Yachty, literally. Like, I enjoyed that album so much, and I thought it was fire as fuck. I'm not saying all of it was fire, but like, I definitely have at least 5 to 6 songs on repeat from that album. that
Yachty
came out
is the
already.
king of saying some bad shit and then taking it right back. Like bought some walk just to not
in
to
stock.
drink, just to keep
Keep in
in
stock.
stock. Like what the
That's
fuck
facts.
does that mean? I bought some heroin just to keep it in my closet.
I mean,
What are you
yeah.
talking about?
in
I don't
case-
need
in
heroin.
case prices
Why
go
you
up.
Yeah.
why you need walk unless you drink and walk, Yachty? Is there something you want to tell us?
I mean, he probably just sitting on it.
Pause. One guy, one pint.
Yeah, no, this ain't no
You never seen that video back in the day? One guy, one jar.
fuck no. What?
You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Sounds
talking
gross.
about?
Yo, relax,
he's
bro.
squatting and there's a glass jar and it's going in his ass and it breaks.
You
What I'm
always
doing
have
this
to
episode
poop.
is I'm not entertaining no bullshit.
Maybe
So
not
any,
now.
Any bullshit you bring up, I'm just ignoring you this episode. That's all I have to say.
How disrespectful do you think Ian Connor posting about George's porn is?
That was crazy.
He deleted it. He wrote, "For Raven, I'll delete." I couldn't believe it because I had already had the conversation with a couple different people in hip hop media where a couple different people hit me up and was like, you saw the porn thing? And I was like, yeah, I'm not posting it because it seems, it's disrespectful or whatever.
It's
And they all
irrelevant.
agreed.
Yeah.
And then Ian Connor was like the only person of.
But Ian Connor's
fame.
not like a media person, like though. So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, just like his whole brand is kind of him just being like a sicko, a sick fuck.
He
you know?
finally found something that maybe people didn't want to hear him troll about, I guess.
yeah, and it's like
Definitely
think
not,
he-
and not now.
I think he just tried to like he was just trying to like I don't know, bro. I'm not excusing it. That shit was lame. He was just it's just like that's kind of his personality though. Like he was like what did he say? He said like
He said, "Rest in peace to my sicko." What are
Something
you
like
doing?
you
Like,
did, you
he
did
was-
big things down here.
yeah, like
involving your brand and it makes it so
or they
much worse.
or like they also tried to I was like seeing shit that's saying like he was like intoxicated and he was like had
yeah.
fentanyl in his system or some shit like that.
I
It's just
seen
like, bro, just because you're intoxicated has nothing to do with like the fact that you deserve to die by the hands of the police for literally no reason.
I mean,
So,
if you're on
all that
fentanyl, spoiler, like that means that you're going to be even less likely to be able to put up a fight. And we
Yeah.
all saw that video, and we all know that like he could have been on any drug, and it wouldn't. That video, like, it
matter.
doesn't matter. He was being
He could have been
manhandled by a bunch of dudes who were bigger than, well, not bigger than him, but were clearly like overpowering him. It's like it doesn't matter if he had fucking and having it in your system, like. He could have done a little something like a week ago and it's still got a little bit in your system. It's not like, it doesn't mean that he was fucked up at that moment. It's such a bullshit way to discredit the story.
So
Yeah, that
fucking
shit's
stupid.
that shit
And
lame as
I
fuck.
saw reports that his family did a private investigation with a, what are they called? Analyst, I don't know.
the
coronary
That immediately discredited the
Discredited
initial
it,
report that was put
exactly.
out that said that he died from
Yeah.
a heart attack or
It
whatever.
was from
yeah.
like holds
Yeah.
on his neck.
Yeah, dude, that shit is insane. Also, what the fuck is going on outside?
I don't know, man.
we're right next
to
It's
it.
just
Safe.
crazy driving around LA and just seeing like army tanks and people with like ARs, just like I don't know.
It's
just-
also like, just think about this, bro. Like, man, honestly, bro, like, rest in peace to that man. But, bro, he literally, his death is probably like changed the world and like a scale that's never been seen before from something like this.
It's crazy to think about the Ahmaud Arbery thing too, because that was very much a part of like the lead up to this. Like
and Sean Reed.
the FedEx incident with those guys on the parking lot that that I fucking interviewed and stuff. It's like there was a lot. Like this shit did not just happen and motherfuckers got mad. There was a lot of build up.
Shit's been happening,
Keeps
bro.
happening. It's just so fucking sad. Everyone from like Sandra Bland to like
Yeah.
And I think an underrated part of it is the coronavirus because you got everybody at home.
Yeah.
Black people disproportionately have lost their jobs through this, disproportionately are affected because black people tend to live in areas where there's worse pollution that makes them more susceptible to the coronavirus. More likely, black people are more likely to have jobs that are essential workers that have to go to work, et cetera. So it's like,
you're more exposed.
right, you have a lot of people that are more likely to be affected by this. Plus, like, everybody's home, everybody's off work, everybody's kind of pissed off, everybody's got energy, everybody's got time.
they want to go out.
Yeah, it's like
And especially for a cause like this, they're gonna
a
go
lot
out.
of people going to the protests haven't been to a club in 3 months, haven't been to the bar in 3 months, etc. Haven't been to a restaurant in 3 months. So it's like
The fumes are high.
That anger and that tension had to go somewhere, and it ended up being directed at basically like one of the worst murders we've seen of an innocent man in a long time.
It's super
I wonder where else it could have gone. Like it seems like that's probably the thing that would have set it off.
It's super ironic because I think the day that the protest started happening, the restaurants and hair salons were going to open back up on Friday.
Well, here at least, right?
In LA, yes.
How about the fact that the coronavirus just doesn't seem like it exists anymore?
That's
At
what
least
I'm saying.
everybody seems happy to act like it doesn't
We
exist.
need to see if the numbers are going
It
to jump
definitely- it's
because
definitely going
everyone's
to.
fucking around each other.
There's no way it won't.
I almost feel like it's inevitable that there's going to be like, oh, like here's 500 people that got the coronavirus from being at the protests in this city. Like that seems more likely than not hearing that.
But at the same time, we're not going to know because they stopped testing. They're like punishing us for protesting, so they're not testing right now.
That is so bizarre, isn't it?
This fucking curfew shit is crazy too, bro.
I'm wondering if it's actually enforced in my area. We were going to go play Pokemon Go the other night, and I was thinking, I'm like, are they going to enforce this in Burbank?
Enforced in what way? Because a lot of, even like McDonald's and shit boarded up like
yeah.
their drive-thrus and they're closed.
I went to the gas station yesterday, and the guy was so pissed, so mad. He's like, they're making me close at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Never in all my years here. Blah, blah. He was so mad. I was also driving down Ventura with a girl on Monday, and holy shit, like Ventura is not, like, we drove along so much of it. There's no possible way that, oh man, some shit is going down. I'm hearing
This is
helicopters.
what I'm hearing like every day.
Holy fuck. And around here, though, it's like, what? Like, where the fuck is the protest near here anyway? But every store on Ventura boarded up. Black Lives Matter on the outside, black-owned business, Hispanic-owned business, El Habio Español, etc. Like, everybody. And, I mean, these are places that are not on the main drag that is, like, likely to get hit. So that was pretty wild. I was seeing that New York cops right now, no days off. Every New York City cop is expected to work
Jeez.
12 hours a day, seven days a week.
Yep.
That's scary too. Like these motherfuckers are like actually
Well,
like
guess
not
what?
sleeping and shit. You're gonna get like worse policing than you've ever gotten
Yeah.
before.
Guess what? That's the fucking job you signed up to do, man.
Yeah, That's true, I guess. But I don't know. It just seems like that might be a recipe for worse shit too. If like you have all the cops are stressed out, losing it, etc. I mean, who the fuck knows what's gonna happen? And also things I'm not looking forward to. The election, because
God damn.
well, I guess I kind of am looking forward to a little
It's
bit
gonna
more.
just continue to split everyone and just.
I feel like if Trump wins after this and the coronavirus, I don't know. I just don't understand.
And all this fucking Jeffrey Epstein shit and him being tied to him fucking resurfacing.
Yeah, I was
And
just
it's
doing
just
a little
like-
research into that. I think
Oh
that's
my God.
not a real anonymous account that tweeted it, right?
It's not a real
It's
anonymous
not.
account.
But at one point,
No, but like-
I looked at Twitter and there was like a million
Different-
people had just mentioned anonymous, and I was like totally like, oh, this is anonymous. And then I realized like, oh, actually, this is already a thing that was like covered by BuzzFeed in like 2017.
The
That-
real
that
anonymous
lawsuit-
doesn't have a Twitter account.
The real anonymous has been MIA for 3 years. Which
So
is,
where did that video come from then? The video was a real anonymous video, but it just
anybody
wasn't.
can make that
I
video. I think.
yeah, it's not that hard. You can get a V for Vendetta mask and
That's facts, but I'm just saying though, like, I don't know.
I mean, whoever these
Adam's looking at
anonymous
my dick
people,
right now. That was weird.
whoever these anonymous
looking
people
at
are,
your
they
jeans.
they still shut down
Carhartt.
the Minneapolis Police Department's website, and I don't know, are they the ones that revealed the information about Trump?
I mean,
it wasn't
even, like,
revealed. It was already out.
It was
information.
already out.
Yeah.
But I mean, if
That's-
they're propelling that to more
Yeah.
people, then they can keep
Yeah,
doing
shout
that.
out to them.
You
yeah.
guys didn't see the Jeffrey Epstein thing on Netflix, I'm
I did.
assuming?
I saw it.
I watched
Oh
it.
my
I
God.
watched it front to back, but you know what
Insane.
though? But you know what though? I feel like it didn't really provide any new information to someone like me.
Oh, you
who
had already
knew
looked into it a
lot.
bunch?
Oh my God, yeah. As soon as he died, I was like the first one. Like he didn't kill himself.
I had listened to this like the Daily episode about it, and I was like, oh, he was like, you know, basically like tricking young girls into thinking that they could be models, and he was taking advantage of them.
That was only one small.
But that's what I thought it was, and then I was not prepared for the fact that
the
it was like it's seemingly like thousands of
Thousands.
girls.
Because it's like a whole spider web of just fucking.
I've spent a bit of time in West Palm Beach. The fact that he was living in Palm Beach, which is like the super rich area, and then like having scouts that were going into the trailer parks and the hoods and shit to find young ass girls.
Scouts of young girls that he was already messing with.
Like a paid affiliate program.
It's
Like,
like
you
a-
go
it was
sign
like-
somebody
It's
up and then you
Like a
get
Ponzi
this.
scheme.
And I think the doc was even more powerful because you get real life experiences or real life firsthand experience from the
You know what was
survivors.
fucked up?
Yeah.
One of the girls who was like the recruit is like they were trying to throw her in because she was like a little older. She was like maybe 17 and she was recruiting girls from her school that was like younger than her.
Right.
And it's like, bro, she got brainwashed by that nigga too.
yeah.
And it's
Also,
like,
what's up with
and abused.
Gretta or whatever the fuck his girlfriend's name is? Where is
She's
she?
still like just. I think
Get her
she
in
moved to some
prison.
random ass state because I seen somebody post a picture of her just like in a diner
Fuck
a
her.
couple of
They
like
said-
months ago or something.
They said that she was like at In and Out, and like this is supposedly a secret message that she was reading a book that about like CIA
Oh,
agents or
yeah.
something, and it was just like that was like her way of like revealing that Epstein was a fucking like a CIA.
You think
agent.
that she just went to In and Out and just waited for somebody to take a picture with her? I feel like
I don't know. That's what I was thinking too. Like,
I feel like that's a lot to expect.
didn't she move to Brazil or something like that though?
I don't know. And is she ever going to be charged? Like, what? Why
She-
hasn't she
she
been
needs
charged?
to be
Because
charged.
because she was named as the co-conspirator like a lot. See, but that's the whole thing about why a lot of people wanted him dead was because like he was tied to so many different people and so
Powerful
many
people.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like it would be in the best interest of a lot of people
For
if
him
he
to be
ended
dead.
if he killed himself before all the shit.
Dude, Alan Dershowitz, when they're accusing him of fucking those girls, and he's
bro.
just like, I have never.
He was
He's
like-
going on that
He's
rant.
like, even when I was underage, I never slept with the underage girl.
That's a weird moment. It was like, this seems like additional
like-
information you did not have to include, that you didn't get
know
any
what-
pussy when you were young.
You know what's crazy? They were like when they were interviewing the prince or whatever, and he
Oh
was
my
like,
God,
he was
fuck
like,
him.
he was like, oh yeah, I've never been to blah blah blah's loft upstairs, and it's like, how would you know that the loft was upstairs or
Yeah,
whatever?
and the picture.
The editing was wild, though. How they went straight from Alan Dershowitz basically yelling about how he was innocent, and then right into the
He's
girl
like,
saying.
I dare her to say on camera that I did something to her.
they go
Next
right
scene,
into her saying it, and like she seems pretty believable, and you seem pretty angry.
Not believable.
I don't know.
And like they had like the thing with me is just like, bro, like they had so many. It was like you could play that off as like a business association only, but it was like he was very friendly with a lot of the people that he was working with like, which makes it more like compelling that nigga you were involved in some way. Like Bill Clinton flying
They have all
He
the
was on that
records of
jet.
every person that went on that fucking jet.
But that doesn't mean that everybody on the jet was participating in that. But
you still
the fact
look
that
bad.
Bill Clinton was on the jet going to the island 26 times within like 3 years, and like Joe Rogan was saying that like him and his like best friend or whatever haven't even flown together 26 times.
Right. Like you're telling me that. So you're kicking it with Harvey Weinstein and like Bill Clinton, and you two are both fucking all these little ass girls and shit. But Bill Clinton is there. It's like you're telling me you didn't at least know.
The one worker that like said that he saw Bill Clinton on the island said that he didn't see him doing anything appropriate, but he did see him on the island.
He saw the prince, right?
No, he said that he said that he saw Bill Clinton too.
Yeah, nobody
Yeah.
was able to actually say that Bill Clinton was guilty.
But at the end of the day, I don't think you're faulted by just knowing someone, and like especially if you didn't know, and like like there was something with like like they went to Africa. And it was like Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker's who I was thinking of too.
No,
I was
just
like,
bro.
I cannot believe Chris Tucker's all of a sudden in this fucking story on that
I
plane.
know, that's what I was thinking too. But it's like, nah, like
At least they're not racist. They got a black friend.
Oh god.
Step in the right direction. What?
Jesus Christ, no man.
No, not a good point. Okay.
No, not a good point at all.
Not right now.
But just I don't know, bro. That was something that I tried to watch to get my mind off of everything else that was going on, and it was just like, nigga, god damn.
I know, right? Me too. How did that make sense in my head? Like, oh, this will make me feel better.
I didn't do it to necessarily feel better. I was just like that.
Yeah.
This was something I was already kind of interested in, and I just like wanted to watch. But it like made me feel even like fucking. I was just like, god damn. You know what, bro? Okay, this is completely unrelated to everything. You know what else I watched this weekend, and I was like, it really put me in a bad mood after. Uncut Gems.
Oh, I love that movie.
What is that about?
It's
What? You didn't see it?
Go watch
No.
it. Go
It's
watch it.
Adam Sandler, and he's basically like a degenerate gambler in New York City.
You know what was crazy?
Sounds familiar.
It's like 8 hours. It's like very brief period of time in the movie, and it's so intense.
Bro, it's literally one of the best movies I've ever
it's
seen.
an
in my
8-hour
life.
movie.
No,
No,
but
the movie's
it's
like
like
2
the whole
hours.
story is like
It's-
a day, or it's not 8 hours. I think it's like
Also-
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah,
Yes.
it just came on Netflix.
Yeah, they keep trying to push that on me.
I also don't think I've ever been more in love with someone that I've never met or never seen before until I watched Uncut Gems and Julia Fox.
very few times in my life have I actually bothered to go Google an
Oh my
actress
God,
after
swear
I
to
watched
God,
a movie.
same. Bro, I followed her on Instagram immediately after. I was like, this is the most
Yeah,
gorgeous. Like, I'm just like so infatuated with her out of nowhere.
I don't care about female celebrities and stuff. Whenever people are like,
You don't
"Oh,
care
who's-
about
who-"
females?
Well, no, I don't care about women. No, I have a girlfriend. But whenever like somebody's like, "Who's your celebrity crush?" I'm like, "What?" Like,
Right? I
don't-
never even thought about that before.
Maybe like some girl I saw in a rap video one time, like
Yeah.
maybe like this doesn't really. I don't think that way, but she looked so good in that movie that it was like,
I'm not
hold
the
up,
I
we
swear
go to
to God-
Google.
I swear to God, like I felt that because
She hasn't done porn. Anybody got a deep fake?
Oh my God, no.
If somebody got a deep fake,
Yo, relax.
That'd
No,
be
but you
cool.
know what's crazy though? I think that might have been like her, open enroll or something like that. I don't know about open enroll, but I don't know if I've seen her or heard of her in anything else.
Yeah, I've never
besides
heard her
that.
name. Also, shout out to my friend Yasha, who directed a video for I think Uzi. They did a deep fake like music video.
I would watch a deep fake porn featuring Uzi.
Yeah, I know you would.
That'd be lit. Would you watch that?
Would I? Why are you looking? No. I don't watch any deep fake porns.
I don't have any other. But I
Yeah,
think
that was her
it'd be
debut
amazing.
role, and she won
Debut?
yes.
What was she before? Instagram model?
I don't fucking know.
Oh,
She's
regular model?
Is she a good actress?
Dude, she did a great job. You know who else was in that? Are you familiar with this jeweler that they push on Instagram all day named Trax NYC?
Yes.
And
they
he's-
DM me before.
Exactly. He was in that. He actually did a really bad job.
How do you spell it? I haven't actually seen him.
TRAX Trax NYC.
That sounds familiar.
But you know what's crazy?
They do also like he does GQ like
He does the GQ
like-
videos
like
where they review people's
people's
jewelry.
jewelry. Uh-huh.
Dude, yeah, he's like a celebrity jeweler basically.
Somebody said that she was just a photographer / artist before that movie.
Yeah, bro. She's. But honestly though, like if I was casting because A24 is basically like an independent studio, right? That's the
Is that the production that
Yeah,
house that did it?
They also did mid '90s, and so I think it's. I don't know if it's owned by Jonah Hill,
I remember when I met Jonah Hill while exercising.
but do we know if A24 is like ran by Jonah Hill?
I don't know.
I don't know, but all I know is
She has multiple photography books. Oh, and her.
all I know is that she's fucking sick, and I'm in love with her.
Yeah, she's cool. Would love to meet her. Big fan of her work.
I'm gonna just get this out the way. Her ass
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
is crazy.
Oh, yeah, that's the whole story. Yeah, she's pretty, but the booty is a thing.
Bro, it was crazy. Oh, I know what you thought
Adam
I was
was
gonna say.
gearing up. I could see it in his eyes.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Go ahead, man. Just
little
go ahead.
house phone, come, little friend zone.
Haha.
Haha.
Explain the course of events here for me. Pretend that I don't know and I haven't been paying attention. Let's talk about it.
Don't make this a little Instagram clip thingy that you're gonna post. Is that what you're gonna do? You're ready for that, huh?
I mean,
I don't know.
If you are, just
Depends
honestly,
how hard you go.
Don't tag me in it. Don't hashtag me. I don't want to be involved in giving him any more followers.
So there's no diss track coming from you?
Cam Girl.
Why the fuck would I do that?
Clout? Why is he doing it? Clout, maybe?
I'm not gonna get any clout off that.
I told
I'm
you
gonna-
I'll write it for you.
and that would be embarrassing for me.
Yes, it would, but I still think
People,
you should.
no.
I feel like she.
People-
What if she ripped him?
I don't need to rip him. I have too many people that are important that follow me on Instagram that are booking me abroad. That's embarrassing. They would be like, what is this?
That'd be cool, though. If they were like, oh, I saw you were beefing with a rapper from Memphis.
No, they would
real-
think I was a joke.
You're really in the culture, aren't you?
No, not especially not at a time like this. This is not what I
Yeah.
need to be worried about.
Yeah, I like this is what I'll say about this situation. At the end of the day, shit wasn't that serious. It was honestly funny. His diss track was funny. I think mine was better, but y'all can go. Jeffrey fans would disagree. And at the end of the day, this is just not the time to be like focused on that bullshit. So it's a ceasefire for me. No more of my attention would be
What was the
given towards
what
this.
bar hurt your feelings the most?
None of it, because like it
Jeffrey
wasn't
got
true.
to fuck. Wolf got to fuck. Eddie got to fuck. Even Adam. I'm trying to figure out who did we all fuck.
I don't know.
Asked him because my girl's with me and I'm listening to it, and I'm just like, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't think I fucked
It's
any
just,
of the damn
it's,
fucks.
it's just a rap. It's just a song. And like,
No, but I was a
don't
little
know.
bit like,
and like that's what
Your song was all facts.
I mean, the fans don't know that though, so they're sitting back and they're just
Whatever.
like they're just again swallowing the swallow squad. So
I mean, was his song about you all facts? He was basically just calling you Asian a bunch of times, and he also said you're 30. How old are you?
28.
That's not 30.
They think I'm as old as
he
you.
was just like dissing anime for no
Yeah,
reason. That was-
I'm like, dude, I don't represent anime, but I mean, sure.
I heard
But,
so
like,
many Asian bars in one
Yeah,
song. I couldn't
because
believe it.
Because what can he say about me? Like, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a thought. Like, okay, like what do you
Wait,
what
hold
do you
on.
what are you trying
but,
to get
But
at?
none of that
It's hard
made
to
any
diss.
sense because like your boss or whatever or like who like
Sorry, but I don't really care what you think.
I'm
so
not talking
him,
about Adam.
No,
I'm-
oh, him trying to use like Adam as like, oh my,
Yeah.
look what Adam said. I don't give a
But he
fuck.
also said that I like Adam
Co-signed
hit me
it.
up and told me go and get it. I'm like, no, I did not say that. For the record, I'm doing everything.
Yeah.
I'm staying out of it. Obviously, I ride with Cam Girl at the end of the day.
I don't think you're
I
staying
mean,
out of it at all.
Yeah,
to be
you weren't
honest,
staying out of it. You were
I tweeted the link.
instigating
That's it. I didn't tweet the link about you though.
Yeah, you should because that was just I don't know. That,
I
all
didn't.
of
I
it
didn't tweet
was-
the song that you made about you. Honestly, I didn't even listen to it till this morning. It was out like 3-4 days before I listened to it. And
I mean, to be
Like-
honest, just at this point, I'm just like, I'm not surprised, Adam. Like at the end of the day, it's just like, and it was funny, so it's not even that big of a deal. But it's just like, okay, and then I put mine out, and like you like threw it in the replies, but it's like, damn, I can't even get an individual tweet of my song.
I feel like these- they need to hear both for context.
But you hop on Twitter and you just like, oh my god, this song about my co-host is so fire. And it's like,
I thought yours was really funny too.
mine wasn't funny. I wasn't trying to make a fucking like a catchy like song. I was just
I was conscious of that.
Getting-
I didn't feel like I didn't post anything about it on Instagram. I didn't.
Yeah, don't.
We didn't do the
Don't
no
give
jumper
him
clip
followers.
of it. I was
I mean,
just like,
that's
no.
probably what we're gonna do
Don't
right now.
He literally did that. He told Monte he's doing this for publicity. He said this
Yeah.
is good publicity for
Would you like to
me,
read the DMs?
Me, you, and Adam. I'm like, well, how is Adam gonna like?
Adam doesn't really care that much.
I don't
Adam
give a
doesn't
fuck.
think that.
I'm not giving him any more followers. Fuck
I don't
that.
think this is necessarily going to really affect No Jumper's bottom line. No, but that's kind of the thing, right? Is that Jeffrey was looking at this like, oh, we could get some clout. We can we'll both get some clout. We'll go
Yeah.
back and forth. And you are sort of more like, nah, fuck you. we got beef now, right?
I mean, not even really, because at the end of the day, like I said, this nigga, look, first thing on his Instagram, what is it? They tried the hardest not to bring it up. Like, nigga.
Edit, they brought it up.
Wait, what? He texted you?
That was like the first thing on his Instagram, bro. So corny, bro.
He's still obsessed with this?
When we were talking about George Floyd, I'm looking at the chat and just seeing mad L's in a row. I'm like, oh God, did I say something bad? And then I'm like, oh yeah, they're all talking about Jeffrey.
His entire Instagram is dedicated to us.
Bro,
like, if anything, like, thank you, I guess. You're giving me followers.
That's cool. I like having an op for this podcast.
Yeah, I'm not.
Don't read this out loud, but just you can go through it.
Read it out loud.
No, don't read some of it out loud, but just go through. It's just like, nigga, you're sitting there like trying to be cool the whole time, so it's like,
so you really
not
got
real beef.
You got Hesh riding with you. At first, I couldn't tell if Hesh was like actually clowning Jeffrey or if he was like just having fun with it. And then I started to get the idea like, oh, Hesh is riding out with house phone here.
I mean, they got their own little thing. It's just like, it's so much weird shit going like in that realm that's just like, bro, honestly, like I keep saying, it's some actual real shit going on outside, and we're all black men, bro. And I'm not about to sit here perpetuating some shit between us for literally no reason. So it's like,
I think I could already guess most of those DMs.
So anyway, at the end of the day, bro, the shit was funny. I'm gonna keep laughing about it, and that's it.
Bro, I just remembered, and it's a little off topic.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna just go ahead. All right, so who had the better diss song to you?
I have to listen to them back to back. I thought they were both like, you were making me laugh so hard when you started like coming with like the TJ style bars towards the end. He fucking lot. I was dying laughing, honestly, at yours and at his. The cam girl one didn't really make me laugh that much. I just thought it felt more like...
He just called you a bitch 90 times. Like, that shit was corny.
He called me a bitch, he called me Asian, he called me old.
Skinny.
Oh, okay.
Said sleeping on your ass and it was uncomfortable. That made me laugh a little bit at the beginning.
That shit was, I don't know. That was corny.
It was just corny because it's like, you're trying to like beef with a woman. I'm like, but then again, you literally don't care. But
it's funny because normally when you diss a girl, the most basic thing you say is like, oh, you fuck this person, this person, and this person. And he don't got none of that on you.
He was trying to. It's like, dude,
Instead, he made fun of you saying nobody wanted to fuck. He's like, even Adam ain't fuck. It's like,
I don't want to fuck.
He's making it sound like I like went and gave it a shot. I'm like, no, we're just friends. It's not like that, bro.
He can't like get around his head. No, I'm not a thought.
That was the funniest thing about my diss is like he tried to diss me for like being homegirls, like having a homegirl or something. I don't know. It's just some girl that I didn't fuck, and I'm just like,
okay.
Who said I was trying to fuck? Like, what?
You can just have homegirls, right?
I mean, it's 2020. I think you can just have a woman in your life that you're not trying to have sex with.
Lil Friend Zone's a pretty funny name.
It was funny.
Probably is a rapper name. Though.
I'm not even gonna hold you when he dropped this because it was very unexpected. I mean, it wasn't unexpected, but like it was unexpected that I was gonna get a response from anybody, and then it was unexpected that he made a diss song to me because I had just seen him like a couple days before this.
And like shook your hand.
And dapped me up. Was like, oh, bro, what's up? And like asked me for a cigarette.
Where's DDG? I'd rather beef with him. At least I'll get followers off of that.
That's facts.
Or someone. I don't know. Someone who like actually has some relevance.
That's why it's just funny that your boy tried to like send his like smaller henchman, like he was like too big to respond to.
Where's the Eddie Baker song, man? I would love to hear the Hollow Squad House Phone diss. It's not gonna happen.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I mean, like, if Xavier, I'm trying to think of who his other goons are. Like, he could have sent Eddie after you. You think that that's the next round of attack, or you think that like he tells Bones like, "Yo, this house, who's he gonna tell to get you next if he don't want to do it?"
I mean, shit. I mean, I saw Chris Travis in my comments laughing.
I know. I was like, wow, that doesn't feel like there's that much unity over there anymore. I don't know. I mean, I ain't seen a Sexual Waterboy show in a long time.
I thought Chris said publicly like he doesn't fuck with.
He said that a long time ago, but I think they did like Rolling Loud after that though.
Really?
Or I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. To be honest, I could literally give a fuck about talking about this. So I'm gonna be honest because
I'm so over.
He's eating up. Jeffrey's eating up every 5 seconds.
This is exactly what he wants. He wants us to talk about it and get followers. Because when's the last time you talked about him?
On here?
Exactly.
Ever. Never. Probably when.
But we're cloud chasers. We only talk about famous rappers.
There you go.
Not only, but largely. No offense. Not that you're not famous, Jeffrey. I like it because I personally like people dissing each other because I think it's good for the overall like sport of hip hop. Like realistically, there's a lot of people who built careers off just like getting dissed or having a diss out about somebody.
Guess what? Everything isn't sport.
This is true. That's part of the problem is that a lot of times in hip hop, the shit can easily go from a good time to really bad, really quick.
And it's the worst time right now. It's like we just don't give a fuck about that. There's way bigger things that are happening in this world. So at the end of the day,
it's like, fuck it, you know? I will say that fuck it, I was really trying not to even talk about this whole situation, but I will address this, that I definitely reignited it by posting the video of the sticker off the sticker. But to my defense, I will say it was something that I was leaving the restaurant. I said to the kid in passing, like kind of as a joke, like I was just walking by and I was like, hey, if I buy your food, would you take the whole like
what were you on?
I wasn't on nothing, nigga. I was on getting food from a restaurant.
Well, you know what you're doing. You know you're antagonizing the situation.
No, but listen. I'm explaining to you.
Right.
They parked next to us, and I'm leaving the restaurant, and I just kind of said it in passing, like, "Hey, I'll buy," because they were in line still when I had my food, and I was like, "Hey, if I buy your food, will you take that Hollow Squad sticker off your car?" And they were immediately down. They were like, "Hell yeah, let's do it."
It's probably been there a long time.
And we just ran over there and took it off. It wasn't that big of a deal, bro.
I wonder how many Hollow Squad cars or stickers there are on the backs of windows of cars in LA.
Millions.
There was a long time where that was
definitely not millions. I'm
constant sight.
Yeah, for sure. Bro, listen, at the end of the day, bro, all jokes aside or whatever, like, my nigga, we know that at a point in time, they not Jeffrey, but like they were a very popular thing. They did a lot of shit for the underground. It's a lot of rappers that wouldn't even be around if it wasn't for them. I'll go ahead and say that. But some shit is a facade, and these niggas aren't the niggas y'all think that they are. And I'll leave it at that. Okay?
Ooh, bars.
Anyway, next topic.
What's the next topic?
Well, I just remembered when we were talking about that one of the craziest things that ever happened in the history of No Jumper was when we were in back of the store on stream and a former No Jumper employee guy who was around, Hesh had a problem with him, and Hesh showed up with 15 fucking people to the back of the shop, and then they went around.
I was there.
They went around the fucking corner and they scrapped at a parking lot. Nobody filmed it to the credit, and then they came back and they were just cool after, and it was like that was one of the weirdest things ever. There was a moment, it felt like the riots, honestly, where like Hesh and like a couple of other people were like shaking the gate
trying to get him
back of the store, trying to get to this person, and it was just like what is happening? Like, is the world being fucking taken over?
Speaking of someone,
were you about to
shaking
send
the
him out
gates?
just there by himself? Is that what you did, basically?
Probably what he did.
You stayed there, huh?
I stayed there. He went down the street with somebody, but I can't remember exactly who went with him. But it was the kind of thing where like some of the people that Hesh was with were like people that weren't gonna like that were gonna make sure it was a fair one and it wasn't gonna be a jumping situation.
Which is why that whole situation is stupid, because it's like it's so many mutual people and so many intertwined shit. Is just like, you know?
Yeah.
No, one of the craziest times at the store for me was we were just in the back working or whatever, and then someone just runs through and then hops the fence because they're being chased by, was it the cops or who was chasing them?
I remember that. It was.
They did a hit and run, right?
It was like.
Oh my God, that was crazy.
It was a dude that we knew. Oh no, it was Huey Briss.
Don't say
Why
the
would
name.
you say?
What? He didn't do anything bad. He was just out. He was on Fairfax, and he basically saw like three dudes, like I think Mexican dudes, that were like fucking. They basically banged on him.
They were from like Venezuela or something. I remember
Venezuela?
the guy was like the guy was from like some other like South American country.
Yeah, but they were probably from like some Trece or something.
They wanted the smoke with Huey Briss just for being a dude walking down the street, and he ended up like. I don't think he even got in his car. I think he ended up running from Fairfax to our shop, runs through the back, sprints, hops over the fence. We're like,
okay, another day on Melrose.
So he ran it through the front and then runs all the way through the back.
I'm trying to remember if I'm misremembering.
First of all,
because I think
like
one of the dudes who was chasing him ended up running through, right?
And then they couldn't catch him, and then we asked what the fuck happened, and then he told us like. I mean, I don't want to say it now that you said the person's name, but
I don't
listen.
It involved like a car and.
Let me just go ahead and just put this out is that I don't know Huey Briss to be a nigga that's running from anything or
I think the
anybody.
dude might have had a machete or something though, right?
It must have been something crazy because
It
y'all
was
not about to
something
sit here and slander my nigga like he.
No, I'm not.
I'm not trying to
running from
slander
niggas.
anybody.
Not my intent at all. Yeah.
No, I feel you. I'm just saying, like, Briss is not the nigga that's just running from something unless it was some really crazy
allegedly
shit.
it was him. It might have been someone else, but yeah, it was crazy because it was just two people running. One had a fucking machete.
We're
Oh,
just
nigga had a machete, literally.
I think that might have been, or either way, we're in the back of the store and we just see someone like sprint through the store so fast. For a moment, we're like, oh no, we're dead. And then it's like they're just gone. They like hurtle themselves over the fucking fence.
Like it was nothing.
Never seen anything like it. And then I'm pretty sure that the Mexican dude ran in and he couldn't get over the fence. I hope I'm remembering this
It
right.
was
Also,
a-
this is like 2
yeah.
years ago. It's pretty bad though. I can't remember.
It was very, very weird.
So many scary, weird
Just know-
situations on
Dude,
Melrose,
it's just
man.
so crazy that you closed the store on Melrose. Perfect
Right.
time.
Perfect time.
Right before coronavirus and right
Your
before
store
it-
would have gone fucked
Oh my
up.
god, hell yeah! it would've.
Yeah, and I mean at first, like when
It would have burned it to the ground.
I heard about that protest being at Pan Pacific Park, which is like a few blocks from where our store used to be, and I'm like, oh god, like imagine if Melrose
Wait.
gets fucked up. And then I
Why
realized,
did I
and-
think Pan Pacific Park is in fucking Santa Monica?
No, it's the one right next to the Grove,
yeah,
right?
we did a
Yeah.
photo shoot with Noah Cyrus and Lil Xan there. But either
We
way,
also
like
did another photo shoot with, rest in peace, Hella Sketchy and Suave and me and Hesh.
Suave.
Suave?
no, that was at Fairfax High. Oh, and then you went to
We went to Pan Pacific Park.
Xan Pacific.
Yeah.
That was fire.
But it seemed like a long shot. Like, oh, maybe motherfuckers are end up hitting Melrose, and then it's like, oh no, every business that was like the businesses that we fucked with, that we were around, etc., got hit.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to think of because I mean, realistically, we probably would have boarded it up.
Somebody said, does anybody remember the guy yelling at T Grizzly in front of the OSS store? Or
Yeah,
yelling?
Spooky Casper.
Who's that?
What? So many weird shit
He
happened.
wasn't really yelling at T Grizzly. He was a white dude who had Spooky Casper tattooed on his face. Definitely on, well, I guess I can't say, he was allegedly on drugs. From my educated perspective, it seemed like he was on drugs. And he's just like freestyling in front of the camera. It's like the most awkward moment ever. And then he just ends it with an N-bomb. And T Grizzly
Is he
like
black?
is in the background
No, he was
standing
white.
there. No, he's white.
Oh,
and
God.
T Grizzly's right there, but T Grizzly like doesn't hear him. / is getting in the SUV and getting the fuck out of there. Like he doesn't want anything to do with it. And I was like, I sort of like awkwardly pan over to these two black dudes, and I'm like, and to their credit, they didn't beat him up or anything. They just sort of like.
Well,
I mean,
see-
it was so obvious that this guy was fucked in the head that these dudes didn't really feel the need to like whoop his ass, but he definitely could have got his ass whooped for that for sure. That was a weird moment.
Don't read this out loud.
You asked me for the cigarette.
I just said don't read it out loud. What did you do?
You got a cigarette?
Read it out. Read it out
No.
My
loud.
bad.
What are we talking about?
Nothing.
I don't know.
Weird.
Cigarette?
Cigarettes.
The Grove
about to
got
chew
fucked.
some
The
Nicorette.
Grove got fucked up too.
What?
The Grove.
Oh,
Nordstrom,
They just burnt
Apple
the.
Store.
They burnt the fucking the police kiosk
Oh, my
at the
God.
Grove.
That's fire.
I've been to the Grove a million times in my life.
I didn't know there was a police kiosk there.
Yeah,
I've
I
never
always
seen
used to
it.
see it. It's a little.
Never seen
It's
it.
like a
It's like a
tiny
little
little-
mini house.
Wait,
that's just-
wait,
it's
wait.
by
Is
the
that-
train track and
Is
all
it
that.
is next to like fucking Wetzel's Pretzel and all that shit?
I think so.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like across the street from Nordstrom's.
Oh,
The
it's right
street.
there then. It's literally right there.
Right there, and like, yeah, they fucked up a few other stores too.
And then-
Damn, did they hit Apple right there?
Yes, they hit Apple.
Hey,
and-
whoever
and-
got stolen Apple
No,
products,
wait,
DM me.
listen, because I saw people posting like their
Oh,
stolen
it's
Apple
all-
products.
it's
It
all
says,
traced.
please return to the Grove Apple Store.
Yeah, because it's all traced.
Yep.
That shit's bananas. I want to see how many more people end up getting caught over the next couple months, like based on the phone footage and shit, bro.
Bro, think
It's
about
gonna be
they're,
madness.
they're trying to say that, you know, if you have any protest footage, just please fucking delete it. And then also, if you're gonna go out and protest, to like turn off your location and
or not even
make
that.
all the
You
That
can't,
shit ain't gonna work.
No, not even turn off your location because they could bounce the cell tower shit to triangulate your fucking
so what should you do?
coordinates.
Just turn off your phone.
You should leave your whole phone at home or
But
fucking.
that's also
That's
not
tough.
safe if you
I mean,
get lost.
you
with
should
your-
airplane. You
These
should
days.
airplane mode it then while you're protesting and then
But-
turn it back on after.
Yeah, I think they can still track your phone in
I
airplane
don't.
mode or
I
something.
don't know,
right?
but
Not sure.
Why didn't Melly think that?
that's a
I was
really
just
good
I just
question.
watched Trap Geek's video on him.
Yes, me too. And you know what I wonder about though? Like I saw that they were raising.
Did they
this-
triangulate all of our YouTubes together? They just suggest everything that
Probably.
they want us to
Yeah,
talk about.
we've just used the word triangulate for
Yep.
everything. No, but
Yep.
that's what I was thinking of. Like
Exactly.
now that they're charging the cop with second degree murder, it's like second degree murder is harder to hit the standard of, because there's like a daily episode about why it's so hard to hold cops accountable for what they do.
What is the daily episode? You've mentioned this a couple times.
The Daily is just like a podcast the New York Times does every day, but they did an episode about why the conviction rates for cops are so fucking low. And after listening to that, I'm like, holy fuck, this motherfucker might actually walk. Hopefully all this shit that's happened actually causes the fucking jury to convict him or whatever.
Yeah, because if that happens, then like we have no hope of like some crazy shit, more crazy shit not happening.
That's when it's really going to get bad, is if they actually let him off. And then also I'm worried about if Trump gets reelected, that's when the fucking riots are going to be really nuts. And if Trump doesn't get elected, who knows what all the fucking Trump supporters are going to do? We're going to get this, but from them. Well, they're probably not going to destroy stores, but they'll probably do a lot of other fucking weird shit. All these militias about to get activated and stuff.
Well,
I don't know.
They don't fucking bring out the National Guard when white people are protesting with fucking firearms.
Yep.
Not yet. If Trump loses, I think you might see a whole lot of shit you've never seen before.
What I really don't understand is like the like white gangs and like the yo, hey, can you close that door? They're like fucking throwing me off a little bit.
Close the door, please. Always.
These niggas are yelling.
And why the
shit.
fuck are they yelling?
They're like yelling.
I mean, normally they'd be able to yell, but the door should be closed.
Yeah, just fucking eerie, just yelling.
Yuri just talking about his ball sack. I got glasses.
So my girlfriend and
me and my girlfriend were doing this.
And then I did the kendama trick and she recorded it.
Me and my girl went to the protest. Want to see my TikTok?
I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about because fucking I didn't understand. I mean, I guess I can completely understand all the white gangs, the fucking Aryan Nation niggas popping out and just protesting the protesters.
When I saw that like gang of white dudes walking on the street in Philly with bats, I'm like, yeah. But I was like, we probably could have
told you that was gonna happen.
There was going to be a reaction like this, and that. But it sucks that they can't control themselves. That they have to be like, "Hey, you fucking faggots," blah blah blah. It's like,
no, they were saying you fucking niggers. Oh, that's what they're saying.
Okay, well, I didn't hear. Well, I guess I probably did hear some of that too. Yeah, it's like,
or like you saw. Wait. You know what was beautiful though? This dude getting slept in Huntington Beach. So he's like on his bike. He's on his bike, and like there's a group of black kids like fucking clown packed into a car and also on top of the car. It was crazy. They were all like on like a fucking 2004 Honda.
This fool's wearing a Patagonia shirt.
And he's wearing a Patagonia shirt on his bike, talk and like yell something out like "fuck you guys, you fucking niggers" or something like that. And they're all like, "What?" They didn't even the car didn't stop. Like 4 niggas hopped off of the car, and the nigga was standing there like all stanced up on his bike. Like, bro, you just yelled at obscenity at these group of black niggas.
What'd you think?
You should have got off the bike and been ready to fight, because them niggas came real fast, started smacking him up, and then he got off the bike. He like tried to kind of square up, and then the nigga just hit him one time. Boom, he folded like a wet napkin. Folded. On the floor.
You gotta love like a 20-second clip where it tells the whole story. See some kids having fun, hear a guy say something really offensive to them, guy ends up in a coma on the ground. It's like, how did you just tell the whole story in like 15 seconds? Like this is unbelievable work here.
They knocked that nigga out of his flip flops, bro.
No fancy editing.
No nothing.
When I saw that it was in Huntington too, I was like, oh my god, this is not going to be good.
Who's this girl with long blonde hair that just came in?
Definitely Yuri's girlfriend.
No, it looks like a nigga, but
it is.
Huh? No, it's
Pamela Anderson.
He looks like, I don't know.
Huntington Beach is one place where I've definitely like seen people like rocking swastika tattoos and shit.
Sure.
And like I was like, oh yeah, if it's gonna go down anywhere in LA, it's gonna go down here, man.
They have literal like Orange County like white gangs.
Yeah, it's a whole thing down there.
Yeah, that's why Orange County sucks, to be honest.
Yeah,
I kind of stay away from there.
Orange
I've been
County.
arrested and fucked with so many times out there.
Really?
Hell yeah.
I don't like being out there. It scares me.
What about
you wouldn't think it though. At first,
OC's nice.
If you didn't know, about
there's
it,
a bad layer of whatever underneath the surface,
the underbelly.
I mean, just look at the racial breakdown of people that live there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we used to spend a lot of time there at the observatory.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, and the Santa Ana protest as well.
What happened to that? They burned the observatory down?
I don't think so.
That's nice.
They're like protesting rap music.
At least leave us that.
They don't even do anything over there anymore.
Has anyone actually listened to the YG song yet, where he used the FTP logo for?
No, I did.
How was it? I didn't actually
to
listen to it yet.
What do you think? What do you think a YG political song is gonna sound like? Every other YG song.
Fuck the police.
Fuck
the police.
No.
Well, I mean, fuck Donald Trump was just fuck Donald Trump.
Okay. That's exactly what it was, but just like times 2. Fuck the police. Fuck the police.
Fuck them.
Fuck the police.
Oh,
Fuck the
okay,
police. That's
I'll
exactly
listen
what
to
it
that.
I could have kind of guessed that too.
And like,
well, there's already a fuck the police.
but I mean, obviously,
it's been like
I was gonna
40
make
years,
it. I was
but-
I
gonna
don't
make.
think I don't think there's enough songs.
It could, yeah. I mean,
And-
it was nothing wrong with making a "fuck the police" song. Do your thing, my nigga. But I feel like I don't know. He could.
I'm
But it's
gonna be-
it's a YG song. What was I really expecting? Like, you know, like
No, yeah.
Did
Shout
you
out to
guys-
him
Were you
for that.
expecting it to be anything different than
this
other
is my
YG
thing
songs?
is I don't like when people are like defund the police. It's like, do you realize that like when you are like burning buildings down and you are creating all this chaos, it's clear that we really, really need police. We need good cops and we need cops to be held to a high standard. That's what we should be emphasizing. We are not ready. No country is ready, but nobody's gonna get by with no cops.
I don't
It's
think
insane.
I don't think
I don't
they're
think people
saying
are saying no
completely
cops.
make it 0% of LA budget to the police. I think they're saying there's
It's so
it's like
much
54%, and like
Right.
if you compare that to healthcare or like public education, it's like
With,
no.
or even like the fucking homeless crisis here in LA. It's like, bro, there's so many other factions that can be supported, that should be supported,
Right.
more than just dumping all the funding directly into the fucking police here.
My thing is just like
LA is a crazy
but
city,
You
though.
see so many people like the cops don't post a photo of like a cop being nice to you or whatever. It's like, bro, like we're gonna need the cops to be nice to the people sooner or later. We have to like
Yeah, but
in
listen.
a hurry get to the point where this is not the stereotype
listen.
about cops. It's very well deserved right now, but it would be so amazing if we could get to the point. And
Yeah, but
through
right-
this, we've
right
seen a
now
lot
is
of
not the
cops being
point, though.
held accountable in a way that we've never seen before. It's a very
for sure.
positive change that we're already seeing.
No, that's
They
facts.
just
But
need to dismantle the entire system and rebuild it, in my opinion.
That's not going to work. You
I
don't want to
just-
see that happen.
I mean, I think that the way that they're trained to like be on
yeah,
go
that shit is
towards
crazy.
minority. I don't
See,
know.
but that's not something that is trained. That's something that has been built up in those individuals for a long ass time. Those are fears that they already faced and shit that like these niggas were already scared of black men and of brown men and already hold those fears within themselves before they became police officers. The thing is though, these people that are like in these like white gangs and there's pictures of them throwing up shit and there's pictures of them, supporting Trump and there's pictures of like, them aligning themselves with fucking KKK shit and throwing up Hitler's like if there's evidence of shit like that, you should not be allowed to be a police officer at the end of the day if you've shown open racism.
We need groups that we need like inspectors, like the same way that the UFC can't police itself. The basketball leagues, they can't police itself. You can't trust the UFC to drug test all their fighters because at the end of the day, the UFC is not incentivized to want to run a super clean, drug-free league. They're incentivized to put on good fights. The cops are in a position where, and I don't know these, I'm completely ignorant. I don't know the extent to which they already have people that are like analyzing their behavior and stuff, but it's like there should be people assigned to policing the police departments who are looking at it. And like, we shouldn't like find out that like there's a bunch of cops that have the same white power tattoo just because like people are able to put it together through photos and stuff. There should be like a regulatory body that goes in and inspects the police departments and tries to find corruption and tries to find bad actions. Did you hear about the thing? I fucking forget what city it was. It might have been Louisville, where two cops like killed an unarmed black man, I believe, and then immediately it was announced that the body cameras weren't on. And immediately the mayor fired the police chief. He didn't fire those cops. I would assume they probably got fired too, but he fired the police chief, as in like, your department is so corrupt and so fucked up. Like, this is not, you can't kill somebody and then just magically not have your fucking body camera working. That is an offense that is viewed as so heinous that the police chief, who had nothing to actually do with this, clearly had to go. And I respect the fuck out of that, because that is the kind of attitude that we need the cops to actually have towards each other. We need cops to actually like want to snitch on each other for their own bad actions. And only once we get to that place is the country going to be able to eventually maybe like change. And there's always going to be stuff that happens with cops where they feel too threatened or they do the wrong thing. They shoot somebody they shouldn't have to shoot. It's always going to happen. But when we have incident after incident after incident of cops doing shit and getting away with it, of course, like, people are going to be enraged about this.
Yeah, and you're going to keep getting crazy reactions at this point if that's what's happening. Honestly, bro, I think that a big change is coming. I feel it. I see it. People are just tired, man, and they're fucking taking it out on everyone, even if it's not the right way or the best way. I feel like this will actually bring some type of change if the powers that be are actually listening.
I already see big, like that thing I just named off. I've never seen anything like that before. All the other 3 cops that were with Derek,
they all
are also being charged.
But
I forget with what.
Can I say something though? That's like a serious thing that's been on my mind. It's like, it might change the systems and it might change how shit works and it might hold more cops accountable. But you know what else is going to do at the same time? It's going to add ammo for the people who already don't like us and already look at us as some type of way, and they're sitting there watching the news all day and just seeing black and brown kids breaking into shit and stealing a bunch of shit, and just like it's almost enforcing the racism that is already institutionalized.
Well, that's part of the problem is that the media would much rather show you the guys looting the building than
the peaceful protest.
Thousands of people gathering
Holding
peacefully and stuff.
A
lot of that footage of the cops attacking the people doesn't make it onto the mainstream news shit either,
Not at
which
all.
is pretty fucked.
Most of that shit, like most of the shit that I'm like showing my mom from Instagram or whatever, she didn't see that on the news or whatever. You know, she had no idea about none of that shit. And that's the thing, man.
I mean,
show your parents and your fucking older people in your family. Show them those videos
What's
you're
really
coming across on Twitter and Instagram and all that shit. Show them that shit.
It's wild because
can I hit one?
For me, like, have you guys noticed losing followers like through this?
I don't know.
I would think most of my followers would be on the same team, but apparently not, because I definitely have had a bunch of days in the red lately.
Dude,
I don't know. I think I'm staying pretty stable, but if I am losing followers over this, I don't give a fuck.
I really could care less.
They can get the fuck away.
And you know what's crazy too? Like I saw the homie Lotus post some shit, and it was like all these fucking. It's like, as soon as you post something like this, it's very polarizing because the people that you want, like the people you would expect mostly nothing but positive, feedback. But then there's those like, you wouldn't be saying fuck the cops if your house burned down or some stupid shit like that. And it's like, that's just like the stupidest argument back to like, hey, black people should not be getting killed by cops. And you being like, fuck you, we need the cops. And it's like, nobody's saying that we don't need cops. Just
stop
people
killing.
of color should just not be dying for no reason by the hands of the police, and nothing's happened to them.
That's something annoying people do, where you make a somewhat nuanced point and then they feel the need to respond with the most obvious point ever. Like, okay,
I was doing that to you though, I'm not gonna lie.
No, that's fine. But
I was doing that to him.
Tempers were high at that moment. But okay, it's like this. It's like if I were to say that new I'm trying to think of a rapper that we all agree. Like, okay, say Jay-Z and the Jay Electronic thing. That somebody says that tape sucks. And somebody's like, Jay-Z is one of the greatest rappers of all time.
But it's like, what does that have to do with?
I was saying something specific and nuanced, and you're going to hit me with something that is an obviously true blanket statement. Yes, of course, you're going to need the cops or the fire department if your house burns down. But I was making a different point. I was saying the cops shouldn't kill people, etc. It's like, I don't know. It's weird how people feel the need to come out with that fucking. Yeah. Well, people point out cops don't put out fires.
Well,
but you would call it
that's the Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter thing. It's like, okay, we're not saying all lives don't matter. We're saying Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, Black Lives Matter doesn't negate all lives matter.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like the most puzzling thing to me. That just like, I don't know, dude. Like,
not everyone is intelligent.
That really blows my mind though, because it's like shit that it's just common sense.
Well, a lot of people hear Black Lives Matter and take that as
like black people are
not
more
black, so my life doesn't matter.
No.
But it's like that makes it. But it's like no, like everything is not about you and how you feel and like, oh my god, this is hurting my feelings because you're not including me. Like, white people just want to be so inclusive about everything. Like, they want to feel like involved. And
but
it's like,
that's kind of like why Black Lives Matter is like a good slogan, is because it's so eye catching, but then it's also kind of a problematic one because if you take it literally, then it could be confused.
I mean, it should be taken literally because
but to people who take it as like
being taken.
So well then all lives don't matter. It's like it's sort of like ass for that response.
No, for sure. But it's
it kind of like forces people into that conversation, to be honest. Yeah. Which is probably not a bad thing.
It's just like at the end of the day, if that's how you, if that's the first place that you go in your mind, and you follow me on social media or something, please just unfollow me.
Did you see the girl who was saying like, yeah, Black Lives Matter, but so do animal lives? Oh my! She went so viral from this take of her basically just saying like, okay,
there's probably
Black Lives Matter, but you just ate a burger.
Has
what
nothing
the
to do with
fuck?
what
It's like,
is
no,
going
please.
on.
Anytime you're trying to make a point and you end up kind of like comparing a black person's life or anyone's
Like
life
a
to
cow.
an animal, that probably is not a good argument. Maybe you should think twice about that. Sheesh.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat, no chicken, no peace. What does that mean?
I don't know.
It's also coming from Martin Luther King Jr., which is a weird username on here.
That's some really racist, weird shit. No chicken, no peace.
Oh, okay. Now
coming from Martin Luther King.
Hey,
What the
hey,
fuck?
mods.
I can't.
I might need a timeout.
I forgot. I can't laugh at shit like that because I might get Doja Catted. But that's just so stupid. Like,
Man, people forgot about her real quick, huh?
I mean,
Well, not forgot about the controversy.
I saw a viral tweet that said, "Wait, Doja Cat will be back for you,"
they got her fucked up.
which is
The Doja
I
Cat
got
racism scandal really didn't hold a can. But the fact that was such a big thing sort of shows
That, like,
how
where
much
people
of
are at.
this stuff was simmering. That the conversation that wasn't like the proper outlet for it. But then they see that George die. Oh, here we go. This is it. This is something we can all root against.
and the cop was charged with like 7 other murders of like Native people and
Yeah.
Latino
There was
men.
a guy who said that guy straight up ran up into his house, right into the bathroom, shoots him twice in the gut.
Wait, why?
Guy didn't have a gun. I don't
But
know.
for what?
I don't know. But either way, this
Fucking-
Derek guy. God,
That's why it's time to strap up, man.
can you believe his wife left him his beautiful Asian
Okay,
wife,
look,
Miss Minneapolis or whatever?
I think that they're just trying to push that and like, yeah, we could laugh at him, haha, your wife divorced you, but like, if you really look into it, I mean, she probably divorced him because it's not good for her safety right now to be standing behind him or next to him.
That's fact.
You
You'd
know,
have to be the
and-
most ride or die bitch on earth to want to hold down that dude.
Oh, yeah, and they were
I don't
saying
even think Aaron Hernandez's wife is that right or die.
Oh, she is like the other. She is the most ride or die.
She-
No,
very ride or
Jeffrey
die.
Jeffrey Epstein's bitch was the most right or die.
I mean, where the fuck is
She didn't turn state. We don't even know where she's at. She's at a Waffle House somewhere.
Bro,
She's not in and out.
she was the one that was recruiting the bitches.
and doing stuff to them.
Yeah, they
Bro.
were raping girls
I don't
together.
But they were saying that he moved all his assets to her, and then they got divorced. So it's like none of his assets are going to be taken away in this process.
This beanie is from Emotional Wreck. This go follow at
from
Emotional
Emotional
Wreck.
Zan.
Emotionalwreck.me.
Emotional Zan.
Someone asked me what this beanie
remember him?
was. Yeah, what do you mean
Where's he
remember
at?
him?
He's still around.
He's 06 Gucci, nigga. He's actually running for president.
Emotional Zan.
Yeah.
Everybody's
What?
running for president. He's like
His like
20
new-
years away from
his
being
like
old enough.
his
to
like new
run for
mixtape
president.
is called like the campaign, and it's him in suits and shit, and like
Really?
just yeah,
With his crazy hair.
yeah, exactly. It's tight, and like setting up like Emotional Zan 2020 signs everywhere.
People forgot about 6ix9ine real fast too.
I saw something that said his music video got removed off YouTube.
Yeah,
I
it
don't know.
did,
I
but
saw
it
that.
went right back up,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
They probably paid that guy out, the Afrobeat producer.
I was hoping that it would get taken up forever. That would have been fucking hilarious.
That
That
would've
song
been
is doing
hilarious.
like jack shit numbers, by the way. Now, the Roddy Ricch, The Box, has
Back
been
up?
out. No, it's
Oh.
The Box has been out for 9 months.
Uh-huh.
It's currently streaming like twice as much as Gooba. That's a factoid that you dig
Did you
volunteered to me.
guys see Apple Music? I don't have Apple Music, so I couldn't check, but I think they stopped streams for everything and were playing only like their selected music, and it was like all black artists, including I don't know, Kendrick Lamar.
Who hasn't said anything yet, which is kind of curious.
Does he need to say something though?
I don't think he needs to. I'm just a little surprised that he hasn't weighed in yet. But there was a lot of people saying that about J. Cole, and then he shows up at the protest. There was a lot of people saying that about Travis Scott, and then boom, he's at. He put out a statement and stuff. What I really want to know is where Kanye's at. I really don't think the world needs whatever dumbass shit he's going to have to say about this, but that's going to get everybody talking for a day. His wife came out and said something. Kanye,
Yeah.
nothing to say, and he loves our president.
And
Maybe
you know
he
what-
finally could find a way to not like Trump anymore through this. Is that too much to ask?
You know what was crazy? Like, I really thought about that this morning when I woke up. I was like, I remember when everyone was so mad that he like had that meeting with Trump and shit, and like now I understand why. Because at first I was kind of like maybe thinking like, oh, like his whole point was that like that meeting was about them like being productive and seeing how they could come together and like work together and all that shit. And now I see why the whole what the whole outrage was towards Kanye was because like my nigga, like this is who you're standing behind. This is who you're like going to bat for. Like this nigga who's literally like telling the troops to fucking shoot non-violent protesters for no reason. And it's like, at some point, bro, like, okay, Zach Fox, I'm always bringing up some shit that he said, but
another dramatic tweet reading.
Bro, he's just amazing. That's why, like he conveys shit that like you think in your mind, but just like he just like words it the perfect way. He was saying that like basically black people in America and the cop situation is like an abusive relationship where you like you know a friend who is like in an abusive relationship and you just like, my nigga, like you gotta you have. Well, he wasn't saying the police directly, but he was just saying. I'm not
gonna be honest. I don't think this is the best dramatic reading.
Anyway, I'll send you the video. Don't really matter. You want to cut me off and you want to silence me.
I'm trying to figure out what the fuck you're talking
it's
about.
It's because I was trying to like correct it as I was saying it, so I didn't say it wrong. But honestly, at the end of the day, just go fucking watch the video. How about that? But he said some really good shit, and that's it. Fuck you, Adam. How about that?
What do you guys think about people using like the MAGA hashtags to like flood their feeds with
That's a thing.
with Black Lives Matter issues?
What?
And news.
Why?
So
they're trying to say that, you know, this Blackout Tuesday, people were hashtagging Black Lives Matter, and that was flooding the Black Lives Matter hashtag with just black squares instead of good information about the protests or things that, you know, people need to know about Black Lives Matter, period. And they were saying like a counter way that we should do is just start hashtagging the fuck out of like fucking Trump 2020 and stuff like that, and MAGA.
I'm not really trying to get super into the hashtag warfare personally, but yeah, that's nice.
Was nice.
Will anybody change their opinion based on like the hashtag flooding? I don't know. It's all funny. This is all K-pop stuff. This is all stuff that like the kids are having fun with, don't you think?
Because at the end of the day, I feel like they're like using certain shit as tactics, and I feel like that was definitely one was like, oh, let's not post about anything for a day and let's fucking be silent. And
well, that wasn't the point because
that wasn't the point, but that's what ended up happening though.
Blackout Tuesday was started by 2 black women in the music industry.
Yeah, but guess what though? It ended up turning into just everybody posting fucking a black picture, and a safe way for people to feel like they were getting involved without actually doing shit. So that's what it ended up turning into.
And I guess what I'm saying is that I don't think anybody's clicking on the Make America Great Again hashtag unless they've already pretty much made up their mind about how they feel about social issues. I don't really think you're like converting anybody off of the hashtag.
No, I think
maybe it's like pissing them off.
I thought what you were trying to say was that like MAGA people were using the Black Lives Matter hashtag on purpose with the black picture just so there's no Black Lives Matter information. Is that not what you were saying? You were saying something completely different?
That was people who sincerely support Black Lives Matter were basically like flooding that with the black square, which is what pissed off a lot of people because it made it
just
harder to find info.
Yeah, that's facts.
Which makes a lot of sense.
So I actually don't understand what the hell you were saying then, because I thought you were saying something completely different.
No, some people were in my comments saying, what if we hashtag MAGA and Trump to flood their pages
on Black Lives Matter type content or protest type content. I'm saying that's not going to do anything.
I don't think that's going to do anything.
Seems like a pretty significant waste of time.
Like Gossip of the City started doing that.
It's almost impossible to even figure out. Like I saw White Lives Matter trending, like hashtag White Lives Matter. So I clicked on it and I couldn't even find I couldn't find anyone using it sincerely. I could only find like K-pop people trolling using the hashtag or something, and I just gave up after like 30 seconds.
I see people asking like the K-pop stands to like send them like K-pop fan cams to like flood those kind of pages.
What's a K-pop fan cam?
Where they just have their favorite K-pop stars singing or dancing, and then they'll reply to that for like, oh my God, everyone vote for Trump, and then they'll respond with like a fan cam to just like fuck up their entire comments.
That's kind of funny.
Sounds fun. Well,
it's internet warfare.
I guess that was good. We talked for 2 hours, 20 minutes. We're 1 day behind our usual schedule. That's why I'm going to blame that on us having 400 less viewers than we've been doing most other weeks. Not that it matters.
I mean, I feel like we got a lot off our chest. I'm kind of glad that we stick to the main point the whole time instead of just bouncing around talking about a lot of bullshit.
Stupid stuff, yeah.
I'm glad that we had that debate in the DMs instead of having it in person. I feel like we would have ended up fighting or something. We were just fucking going back and forth at each other. But
we were so last minute. I wanted to have a pre-podcast like meeting where I was like, okay, let's all try to take some deep breaths, try to speak slow, let each other, like try to like have like a
I think we did a
pre-podcast
good job,
meeting.
though.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I think we did a good job of not like talking over each other or letting everyone get out points they were trying to make. And
it's always important to
about-
remember that you're on the same team as people, even if you have small
sure.
disagreements. That's what like. That's
even
what
though
I think
you don't
about
act,
the Virgil
even though
thing.
you never act like that at all, like we're on
What?
the same team, but it's okay.
I do too. Well, you think I'm on the Trump
You're
team?
an op rooter for sure. No. I'm not talking. I wasn't even talking about that.
It's cold. It's cold. I know.
I'm not gonna say you're a racist. I'm not saying.
I know a
racist.
Trump supporter I could expose. I'm not going to do it, but
I mean, we probably all do.
Not like a current supporter, but like I know somebody that I could tell the world that they voted for Trump, that the world would be pretty
Like what the fuck?
pretty interested.
Dude, yes, Jules. No, I'm kidding.
She should be his running. She should be Biden's running mate.
You know
Don't
what?
think? Oh, that's such a
Wait,
good idea.
you know what pissed me off when I followed Julia Fox, my fucking WCW. The first person that came up and suggested was Yes Jules, and I was just like, why? Why is she aligned?
WhiteGirlsWithAss.com. The algorithm knows.
Pog Nation, the Pog Nation.
That's probably like in your interest.
Yo, shout out to that nigga Josh, Pog Nation.
What's that?
You never seen that dude that was like, he was like, fat ass white girls, those are my type. It's like,
Also, I just saw these texts. Let's never write KKK for okay.
yeah,
Oh,
what
yeah,
the
why-
fuck was that?
I tried to write KK.
That's
First
your
of all-
autocorrect.
First of all, listen. Any grown man that types back KK to me, like, nigga, grow the fuck up, first of all.
I threw in an
Then-
extra
It's-
K
I
by
think
accident,
it's-
right?
it's-
Today by accident. I was like, wait.
you
I
just
had
so-
to hit it with a disclaimer immediately.
You're so used to just being in your Ku Klux group chat.
That's if I was going to join the clan, it'd be the Wu-Tang clan, brother.
And also, I feel like
Blue Bucks
I've
clan.
been waiting to say that. I don't know
Blue
why.
Bucks clan. I saw them at Benny Hibachi the other day.
You saw him just chilling?
They're, I
Getting
mean, they
food.
weren't chilling. They were
You ain't a
ordering
rapper
food.
unless you go to the food truck.
Yeah.
Also,
You want to
lucky,
see your favorite rapper? Go to the food truck. Go to Benny Hibachi.
You
Also-
might be able to fight the young lord.
also Lucky said
shrooms.
facts. Also, Lucky said his homie was waiting outside the Benny truck all week, waiting for a rapper so he could snatch his chain.
Did he put out a new tape or something? That's
He
where you
did.
get all these new Lucky
Yes,
bars from?
yes.
Okay, I got to get
You
back
gotta,
on that.
You got to go tap in, man.
Yeah, shout out Lil Boat, too. Go flood Lil Boat's comments.
Go
and say-
flood Lil Boat's comments.
He could come on the pod, right? He already been there one time. Would you do like a weekend's or a week's episode with Yachty on? Because I know we don't do guests, but I do like
Yeah.
I like Yachty.
Yeah,
Let's bring him on.
I'm down.
If
You,
he's
you
even
know you're not
LA.
in the thumbnail because you were late.
That's fine. I thought he wasn't in it last week because he was late.
I was in it. They edited me in, I think.
Oh, well, we
edit
could
me
probably
and
do that.
Yuri
Oh, okay.
or George. I mean,
Yeah,
not
but whoever
George,
did
Trevor.
it sucked because
Why did I call him George?
whoever edited it sucks because my chair was in the background and it was just weird.
That thumbnail looked really weird too because I was wearing that bright pink fucking Glow Gang shirt and then
The contrast of like the red
the
background.
red sort of looked weird with the shirt. Look at it today.
I know
both
we're all wearing white.
Yep. So at least we got that going on. Mopping Adam's flow. Cleaning the commode.
You should recite some of his bars.
I forget.
okay.
I think
I don't give a fuck about what this nigga thinks.
We're gonna be live streaming, listening to your donations after this, so tune in, guys. We'll be back probably in like 30 minutes, so 9 p.m.
go
Gang, gang.
loot your local Foot Locker. Go get me
mean,
some
we'll-
size 13s.
I mean, to be honest, I'm gonna probably stop and get food somewhere, so maybe like 45 minutes.
Support your local Dave's Hot Chicken. Are they black owned? No, we probably
No,
know.
probably not.
Who's
It's
Dave?
probably owned by some Asian nigga. I think it's
Fine.
owned by an Asian nigga or a white nigga.
We're coming for you.